Welcome to the Redbuddies podcast. This is our third episode.
This is the episode where he fires Zarir for being on his phone. I saw that, Zarir.
Yo,
All Zarir does is watch league
you gotta get
streams.
freaking relegated
Okay,
again.
I know we started, man. All right, we're here.
Dude, imagine Zarir's day from morning to night.
If-
league streams.
If you want to know what he's doing on his phone, he's watching a league stream.
Dude, if anyone's watching this and knows the pressure I'm feeling right now as a TSM fan, God, I'm
Dude,
dying.
look, if you watch league streams, it's okay. Just don't tell nobody.
I think esports is a very interesting field.
No, look, I play League of Legends,
Yeah.
and I don't mind telling people that.
Yeah.
But once you tell people that you watch professional League of Legends, you've crossed the line.
But why? Why do we have that stigma behind just League of Legends? This is my water bottle.
I'm sorry. Okay. Look, man, you keep it to yourself, okay?
The
So that's
water
what
bottle?
you
This man can't even drink water. Yeah. Now, why is that?
You know,
I
that's
feel
a-
like nowadays, right, with the whole COVID situation and everything, we don't really have like traditional sports. We got
UFC, baby.
UFC.
Oh,
I
we
guess.
starting up right away.
Yeah.
This is what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Esports. All right, go ahead, bro. What's your
What's
No,
your
but
take?
like I feel
what's your
like
take? What's your hot take?
the thing I like about esports especially is like that you don't see in other traditional sports is that there's always something going on because video games, if you make video games too simple, like no one's gonna play them.
You don't have to sell esports to me.
No, I feel like I do because there's
No,
not
I
just
like-
to you,
I
not
like
just to you, but it's like our audience because I feel
Okay,
like
go.
there's like a stigma behind esports, but I don't know why. I feel like it's really really exciting
Okay,
to
so
watch.
imagine now you're talking to like your white friend's dad.
Dude,
who
no.
only watches football on Sundays
And Family Guy.
and Family Guy. All right, pitch esports to him.
No, see, wasn't we all take Xbox here, right? So for those of you who
I
don't know,
did not.
expository writing is an intro course. You have to take at Rutgers, basically. For my final essay for Xbox, I was like, you know what? The teacher isn't going to know this, so let me just write a BS essay on why esports should be considered sports, right? I went super meta and just made up a lot of like nonsense, and I submitted it. And as I'm submitting it, my professor's like, oh yeah, I used to be somewhat of a StarCraft pro back in the day myself. And I'm just like, what? And he starts talking all this random stuff like, oh yeah, StarCraft used to be so good, but now it's in World of Warcraft. And I guess League is taking over a little bit, but I enjoy playing Overwatch. And I'm just like,
Did he give you an A?
What?
Did he give you an A?
Oh no, that was the worst essay I ever wrote.
You failed that class.
Dude, that was a bomb. But like, oh my god, like literally, I didn't expect that. So that's the thing. I feel like there's a lot of people out there who would enjoy it, but because of the social stigma, they're not loud and proud about it.
I mean, I feel like it's dying down. Cause
Do you? I feel like it's growing.
What's dying on this?
What, the stigma? I
Oh, the
think
stigma.
stigma's dying down.
Oh yeah, I mean yeah, it is slowly, but it's
Because esports is like big now, right?
Yeah, it's pretty big. It used to be so esports is still kind of reserved for like lame nerd kids. Like esports, just like watching esports and being into it. Actually, to some degree, it's not. That's slowly moving away. Playing video games now, everyone kind of does.
Yeah.
yeah.
So like before, and I'm talking about playing video games like League of Legends, World of Warcraft, Star.
Super
Actually,
Smash,
World of
yeah.
Warcraft, no, like Smash, right?
Yeah.
This used to be reserved for like sweaty 400-pound like Mountain Dew drinkers, right? Who just had like Doritos freaking
Yeah, oh,
residue
God,
on their
yeah.
fingers.
Yeah.
That's the kind of person that would play this game. And now you have people who are like
The
the
Chads.
opposite of that.
Yeah.
You have like the Chads playing freaking
You
Pokemon
got
and
buff
like Animal Crossing.
guys.
Yeah.
You got everyone playing video games now. You got everyone playing these nerdy freaking video games. Like League of Legends, when I started playing League of Legends, at the time it was still like in the shift, but if you told people you played League of Legends,
They just used to looking.
See, now you can all reveal yourself. Everyone can reveal
Man,
themselves
bro.
because it's normal now.
no, but dude, think about World of Warcraft. Think about the type of person that used to play World of Warcraft.
Oh yeah, my
Like-
god.
Like, you know when South Park made that episode?
What episode?
You guys ever seen that? Have you seen that?
No.
Oh, well, they made an episode where like all the kids get like really freaking fat, like 500 pounds, and they're all playing World of Warcraft, and that was literally the type of person that played World of Warcraft.
I remember my neighbor, like, I hope he doesn't watch podcasts. Like 10 years ago, we used to live in different apartments, and my neighbor's older brother was like 25. So you know how your parents always tell you, if you don't study school, you're gonna end up doing nothing
Yeah.
and live with your live with us the whole time and be a loser in life. That was
That
low
was him.
key my neighbor's brother. Like he was straight up like an
How old was he?
I don't know. He was like, I think he was in his 20s. I'm not sure, but like the man didn't go to work, didn't go to school, didn't do anything except play World of Warcraft 24 hours a day.
Yeah, and then if they had a job, you know what they would usually be doing? They'd be working at a GameStop. And not that working at a GameStop is bad, but all the people that worked at GameStop were just like. First of all, I don't think they took showers.
At
Yeah.
GameStop.
I don't think they took showers.
I feel like a lot of stigma comes from the gamers like that. Like you remember a bad impression longer than you
That's a
remember.
lot of them, bro.
Yeah, but like
That's a lot of them.
yeah, but not because of those people. I feel like it's screwed up for us because with that gamer stigma of them being like a loser guy who doesn't shower and has no life or whatever,
Yeah.
that like is reflected on like the esports world and stuff like that. But like professional athletes, a lot of them are hot. Like it's not like
What?
professional esports athletes are like attractive people. They're not even though they spend like the majority of their day, like 8 to 10 hours a day practicing video games. They take showers. And
Yeah, yeah.
I
Okay,
feel like
yeah, they
that's
take care of
so
themselves.
old now, though. That stigma. I think it's gone.
Dude,
It's
I think so.
It's for most games it's gone, but occasionally you'll find like what video game do you think now still has like that stigma? I think
World
World
of
of
Warcraft,
Warcraft still
World of
kind of
Warcraft.
has that. You're still kind of a sweaty animal if you
I didn't even know that still
World of
existed.
Warcraft.
because I think it's the type of game, right? World of Warcraft is what, an MMORPG or something? Is that what it is? That like, you have to play
Yeah.
it continuously. Everything's in real time.
MMO.
Yeah.
Yeah. If everything's in
Yo.
real time, then
The I remember I would go to GameStop. Like this was recently, like in my freaking adult life. I think one time we went when we were trying to like sell games. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
Well, anyways, this
One
was
of
one
our
of our
ventures.
failed business ventures. But
Oh,
anyways,
Lord, help us.
we like whenever you go and like buy something there, like the person there always has like long freaking hair that's just looks disgusting. They have glasses and like weird like goatee beards.
why are you looking at me, man?
They just look like they don't take care of themselves, like they don't take showers, and then they always have this freaking like way of talking. Like, oh, sick choice, dude.
GameStop
That's a great
actually,
choice.
Working at GameStop, I heard it's pretty soul sucking.
Yeah, I heard
I
GameStop working
yeah.
is
Why?
when I was looking for a place to work like part time in high school, I was like looking at different places and I heard GameStop's like one of the worst. Like they
Why?
have so many long hours because no one wants to work.
Dude, you
there.
have to like freaking repeat those promotions like after every purchase. Like they
Oh,
just keep
yeah,
asking
yeah.
you about so like pro member, whatever they
Bro,
have.
they do that in all the stores, man. You go to freaking like
Dude,
Modell's.
but that's
and
so
they'll ask
annoying.
you-
They have
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
whole script that they have set up.
No, but that's
Yeah.
every single
Yeah.
cashier. That's not the problem. I just think the company itself is like trash. Like, weren't they the ones who declared themselves a mandatory business at the beginning of quarantine?
Oh,
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
pretty sure
yeah.
they're done, bro.
Is
isn't
GameStop done?
Haven't they? Like, aren't they done now?
I wouldn't be surprised. Like,
Yo, I'm gonna look that up real quick.
all right, bring it up.
I
Jamie.
saw some were like open in a mall, maybe.
Yeah, Jamie just called me Jamie.
No, it's still open.
Is GameStop still open?
I feel like it was in that specific place.
I'm pretty sure it's still open because I know there's one open in a mall.
EB Games was the one that.
EB Games?
EB Games is the one that
What's
that
EB
died.
Games?
EB Games was like another. It was
I-
another big. It was the one. Besides GameStop, that was really big.
I literally never heard of
And
it.
yeah, I never heard of
Yeah,
that.
we had some of those.
It's
up
probably a North Jersey
Do you
thing.
remember the times where you could order like Wii games off Netflix and stuff like that?
The GameFly and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
GameFly, that's what
Yeah.
it was.
there.
Man, good old days.
What happened to GameFly? Is this
Dude,
still
that
around?
service. Why would you ever order a physical CD?
It's true.
Everything has a digital release.
I mean, I haven't gotten past the PS3.
Dude, I remember seeing the
For-
commercials for that. I was like, "That's freaking sick."
Yeah.
Yo, are you guys buying the PS5?
Probably not.
I haven't had a console
Yeah.
since the PSP.
Yeah, dude. The most recent console I've played is PS3 and PS2. I mean, unless I go to a friend's house, then I'll play PS4.
Yo, here's why I want to buy the PS5. So actually, I did this with. So once I started like, when I was younger, when I was a kid, like I would get one video game like a year sometimes, and it would be like one $60 video game. If I was trying to get a console, oh, bruh, not within the first like friggin' 5-6 years of it being released would I get it. I would
Exactly. Yeah.
right
Yeah.
and like right and
Them discounts.
yeah I'd have to wait a long time. So when I bought the Switch, when I bought
You
this
trying to switch? When? Like, did you buy it recently or?
No, last year.
Okay.
It's right there. So when I bought that was like, so on one hand it was like, oh yeah, cool, I have a Switch, but on the other hand it was like super like, yeah,
Buy
it's
it.
my money. I'm
Bought
buying my
it by
freaking
yourself.
Switch
Yeah.
now. Exactly,
I
right?
feel you, I feel you.
And it's like yeah, not like, hey, my mom or dad cannot tell me when the hell I get off my freaking Switch,
Yeah.
cause it's
Yeah.
my freaking Switch,
Oh my
and I'm in my
God.
freaking house.
Dude, I used to have the limit of 1 hour of play.
Yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, bro, what am I gonna get done
And
in
I
1
pay
hour?
for all this with my freaking money.
Okay, I have to reveal something on the podcast.
What?
What my PSP?
We already. Okay, go.
No, when I got my first console and my only console, the PSP, my uncle got it for me. He used to work. I don't even know where he used to work. He used to work somewhere, and he used to live with us. And he bought me a PSP, and like I think all you know, but I don't know the generations. I just know the color, and I know at the time God of War came out, and like they had the red PSP promotional, and he bought me the old first generation black PSP. For the first 6 months I had it, my parents didn't know I had it. I only used to play behind the door
Yeah.
or under the table or in the bathroom. Because if my parents found out I had a video game and my uncle bought it for me, they would have flipped out. 6 months of playing.
Do you have like a secret transaction with your uncle?
No, he just bought
But
it.
did they ever find out?
Yeah, so then they found out, and they're just like, you can imagine what's going through their head. Because at that time I was like a 10-year-old kid, and they're like, how the hell did this
Dude.
10-year-old kid get like his hands on a piece of machinery like this? Still, like, did you steal it or something? I was like, no, my uncle got it for me, and
My
I.
uncle? My
Yeah,
uncle?
like-
Explain. My
They like find him under the dinner table, like on the PSP. He has it like, what are you doing? He's like, He's like, oh. And they're like, oh, okay. Like, oh, okay, your dinner's ready.
Oh my god. No, man. I
This is
was.
supposed to be a PG podcast.
We're screwed, man. We're gonna get demonetized again.
Dude,
First 2 weeks you talk about pedophiles every time, and now this time.
Every week, Zarir's like, yo, we can't put that in. And we just put it in.
Oh my god. I hate it all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but the PS5's coming out. So like I said, with the
I guess it.
oh, go ahead, finish it.
Yeah. So then, I mean, they were chill about it, but I never got to buy a game after that. I still have the PSP. It's like a first generation PSP 1000. It's literally like heavier than this water bottle, by the way. It's like this thick.
Yeah.
And you had the tiny size.
I had it too. I think we had the same one. My cousin got it for me, and then one time I got. Oh my god, I was such a freaking idiot. I had GTA Liberty City Stories, and I was way too freaking young. Okay, I like everybody that starts playing GTA. Like
Plays
they're
it too
usually
young.
way too young for it.
Yeah.
And so he gave me it, and I don't know if you guys know, but there are prostitutes in that game.
Oh yeah.
Of course.
So, and I didn't know what the hell was going on, and so like, okay, it's a little graphic, but basically I would play the game, I would drive the car over to like wherever, and some girl would
To
get
a
in my
strip
car,
club.
and I didn't know what the hell was going on. I was like, oh, that's so cool, people get in my car, yeah, they just get in my car, and then I'm like, Mom, look, Mom, look.
That's that's
Oh.
worse than Zarir.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so that didn't end too
Zarir
well.
under the table.
That did not end too well. And so I got the game taken away from me, but then eventually I got it back. I don't know how I
Wait,
got
your
it.
parents
She was
willingly-
probably just like, hey, just don't pick up any more prostitutes.
Your parents
don't
willingly
know.
gave you back.
No, I think I just like found it. Like they
Oh,
used to hide it. Dude, I got really good at finding things.
That's fine.
Really good.
I feel
Really
like
good.
okay, I don't know if this is true, but I feel like it's one of my big hypotheses of life. I feel like if you're too strict on your kid,
Say that word again.
hypotheses,
Hypothesis.
Hypotheses.
hypotheses of
Hypothesis.
Is
life.
that the word?
Hypothesis.
Okay, got it.
Okay, hypotheses.
Hypothesis.
The multiple hypothesis of life is that if you're too strict on your is too strict on your kid as a parent, the kid becomes way too cunning. Like I figured out.
Yeah, for sure.
I figured out way too much about like my parents like hiding spots and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, every time I used to say, "Oh, I'm taking away your PSP," I found it immediately.
Yeah.
My parents, we still have it to this day in our TV. Bought something called the Bob machine. Do you know what it is?
Bob.
That don't
Bob
sound
machine?
too good, but what is it?
Okay. Before we get to Bob machine, let me talk about previous generation. Do you know those old like pinball like jukebox machines you have to put in a quarter for it to use? My parents got a
Yeah.
machine that had custom like coins, and they connected it to the TV to the main power source. So the power source would not turn on unless you put in a coin, like the custom coin, into the machine, and it would turn on the TV from there. And each coin would last like half an hour, right? That was the first iteration of the Bob machine. So
Okay.
I figured out at a young age you could tie a string around the coin apparently and like pull it in and out.
Oh, like the classic, like the cartoon type thing.
Yeah, no, but I was like 6-7 years old when I figured this out. I was like, man, I'm hella smart. So then like I used to watch TV that way, and my parents realized, you know what, this isn't gonna work. So they got a straight up Bob machine. This is what it is. It's literally a freaking ATM keypad. They stick on the TV and it won't turn on because again it's connected to the main power supply unless you put in the code. But the thing was, my parents lost the key. Lost the key to the machine, and it's straight up connected to our TV. So we've moved houses like 3 times in 15 years, and we've brought the machine with us every time because we can't cut the power cord. It's connected to it. And they lost the key, and it's straight up like industrial proof. Like you can't like break it open with a hammer or anything.
So can they go to like the freaking I don't know.
I don't even know if they still make these machines, but like literally.
Can you get like
you
you
can't
need
pick
the
it.
original key to.
Yeah, I've tried so hard, man. So literally every time we move, we carry the TV in one hand and we carry the tiny ATM keypad in the other hand, and we just take it around.
I used to be able to. You know how you said you get more cunning. I used to be able to literally do this. I would be in my I would be in the downstairs floor. So first my room was like on the same floor as my parents, and then I quickly found out that if I just go to a different floor and be like, I'm more comfortable here, then I can wait until they're asleep and then play video games at night, because then they can't hear me. So I literally, but then sometimes like when my dad would come in, he would he would come in and then he would check in on me.
Son, what are you doing in the middle of the night by yourself?
He finds Zarir under the blanket.
But anyways, so this is supposed to be freaking PG podcast. Anyways, so he finds Zarir.
It just ends up being Zarir.
So anyways, like he
Dude, damn, it's hot as hell.
dude,
here.
I would literally rather at some points I would rather have my dad find me under the blankets with some dude than find me playing video games at night, because that never ended well.
Yeah.
It never ended well.
true.
I wonder what his reaction would be to that. Like 5 years old. Like, Zarir.
Do you think it was a good thing?
What?
Do you think it was a good thing?
No. So listen, here's what I learned to do. I could literally listen to the footsteps on the stairs, and I'd be like, "That's mom. That's Ba, my grandma.
Yeah.
That's my sister. That's sister number 1. That's sister number 2. That's my dad. Check mark.
Gotta get
Turn on the
Your
video
sisters
game."
would tell your parents.
No. Like I'm not saying
okay.
my sisters were, footsteps that I necessarily needed to look out for, but I learned to hear people's footsteps and identify exactly who they were. You need to stop freaking watching that.
Okay, this
He's
is
wide, bro.
dude. I'm an accident. But continue.
So anyways, yeah, like you get super good at learning how to navigate through, navigate past their restrictions. Like their restrictions don't end up doing good for you. They end up just making you really good at being cunning, like you said.
Yeah.
So going back, do you think it's a good thing or a bad thing that you were able to bypass those restrictions as a kid?
Well,
I feel like
I think you should be like moderately strict.
I feel like my take is that. Well, I don't know if this is like too deep or anything, but I feel like I have less respect for the rules now, because I'm just like, I gotta just find a way around it.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, for sure. Because like nowadays, like you can. I don't know if I want to go on record saying this, but you can finesse your professors really hard. I'm not saying I have done that. I'm not saying cheat. I'm not saying cheat. For the record, I'm saying you have something due a certain day. You can very easily, without lying, move it to another day.
no, I feel like not even that. I feel like people who are like cunning, like had the restricted parents in the beginning, when they have stuff to do, like due in an hour, those guys are the most efficient at making some crap up and just submitting it. Like I don't know how they do it, but they pull something out of thin air and they're like, I got a 5-page essay due in 2 hours. Boom, I got it done. And I'm just like, how did you do it? It's like, oh,
In 2 hours?
yeah, I just made it.
Yeah.
I don't know how these people do it, but
Well,
like,
there's this thing called the Parkinson principle. You know what that is?
no, what is that?
It's that you will finish a task in how much time you have allotted yourself to do it. So it's actually one of the, if anyone has ever read the book 4 Hour Work Week, it's actually a really
4 hour work week.
4 hour work week. Yeah, it's a really It's a pretty popular book, especially for people trying to start businesses, and like trying to live, trying to be self-employed and not really work anymore. Hence the name 4-Hour Work Week. But there's two big principles. One of them is the Parkinson principle, which is that when you work, if you have a week to do a task, but you only do it within the last 2 hours, you'll get it done like just as well within the last 2 hours, because that's how much time you actually gave yourself. So no matter how much time you give yourself, you can typically get it done. So the Parkinson principle and the way you apply that to your work is, we can shift back. Sorry, I'm going on a tangent here.
No,
kind of thing. But so the Parkinson principle is, if you want to get something done, instead of giving yourself a week, even if you think it might take a week, just try giving yourself like a lot less than a week. Try giving yourself like 5 hours and you'll get it done.
Yeah.
And if you shorten the time frames, your productivity will skyrocket. Like
I feel like, when some of us are procrastinators, some of us just work better, like with less time.
For sure.
Yeah, so if you like self-impose that pressure on yourself, like, I'm gonna get it done.
Yeah.
Like, I work better under pressure than with more time.
It's so hard to self-impose that pressure when there isn't like a ticking time bomb, basically. Like, and the ticking time bomb is usually like. So here's what I've done. Actually, this is something that I'm proud I've found this system for myself. If the ticking time bomb is the due date of the thing, right?
Yeah.
What most people do, and what I have done for a long time, as long as I've been in school, is, except for the past couple years, is if something is due a week from now, in my head, I'm thinking, okay, it's Sunday. By next Sunday, I have to get this done. And then it's in my mind from Sunday to Sunday. But what I started doing was, I'll be like, okay, this is due a week from now. I'm going to start it, like, let's say it's due next Sunday at 12. I'm going to start it next Sunday at 8 p.m. And I'm not going to freaking think about it until next Sunday at 8 p.m.
But why?
I've done that before.
Because it's so much better. First of all, it's so much better for your freaking head, stress-wise. Second of all, I know I'm not going to do anything until the last second.
Yeah, okay.
Which isn't necessarily, like, okay, it can be a bad thing, but then if you, like, it's worse for me to know I'm not going to do anything until the last second, and then do it in the last second, but then stress the whole time.
Yeah.
It's best for, like, if I can say those 4 hours, or for that, then I'm in control of my time. I'm still in control of my schedule.
Yeah, exactly.
And so now what I've been doing is I've been applying that to, and I want to hear your guys' thoughts about this. Yeah. I've been applying that to literally everything. My exams. So last semester, and alhamdulillah, I did well. My last 2 semesters, the last 2 years of college, I kind of did this, but then the last 2 semesters, I like owned up to it, and I did it like.
Yeah.
I was like, this is just my system now. If I'm taking like 4 or 5 or 6 legit classes, right? Let's say like I'm taking 5 legit classes, and then like I'm taking 3 credits of whatever. So usually I'm taking like 18, like between 16 and 18 credits. Okay, so now if I have 5 legit classes, that's 5 times 3 exams, 2 midterms and 2 finals, is 15 exams.
Wow.
So,
that is a lot, yeah.
Right, and that's like a normal. Okay, maybe 5. If you're taking
it's
4,
it's 4 usually.
Okay, yeah, 4. If you're taking 4 legit classes, that's 12 exams, right?
Yeah.
Just about. You know how many nights I studied last semester? 12 nights. I had 12 exams. I studied for 12 nights. I just studied for each class, each exam, the night before.
What if you had an overlap?
Then I went 2 days before. I started 2 days before, dedicated one night to one class, dedicated another night to the other class.
Yeah.
And when I say night, I mean like the night. I usually didn't even spend like the whole day, but I would pull an all-nighter.
I see.
And I would understand. You have to understand, if you understand like, you can pull all-nighters, you just have to understand, okay, this is going to screw up some things, and I have to be ready to fix my sleep schedule right afterwards. I can't take such and such amount of naps afterwards. You have to be very prepared going into it.
Yeah.
You have to know that it's going to screw things up. You have to know, and by the way, you know that thing that people say about like sleeping before an exam? Like you should
get a good night's rest.
So I've actually, from my experience,
I've taken most of my exams with like little to no sleep.
Yeah.
I agree.
From my experience, I've been okay. That's not to say that I can't do better if I go to sleep, but in my opinion, if you still have material left to learn, you better learn it.
Learn
instead
it.
of
Yeah.
wasting.
Yeah.
So, what do you guys think about that? Like, what do you guys think
I
about the
agree
system?
with the self-imposing thing. Right? I'm a huge believer in that, but I feel like I have the exact opposite approach of you. Basically, the way I've been. Yeah, sorry about that. We had a bit of a technical difficulty, but we're back. So yeah, as I was saying, I agree with what you say about the self-imposing and everything, right? I think that's a really good idea to be able to set personal goals for yourself and actually meet them compared to like what real world goals are. But the thing is, for me at least, is I get stressed really, really easily, and I can't just put it out of mind. So like for the past 2 years, I've been taking like 20 credits per semester, right? In hopes of me chilling for the next 2 years, which is alhamdulillah turned out to be the way.
Yeah.
But yeah, because I'm taking 20 credits, that's usually like 5 or 6 classes, right? And those end up being like a mix of like homework, essays, like CS projects and stuff like that. So I can't really just say, you know what, I'll get it out of my mind and do it later. It's gonna be in my mind no matter what. At least for me, I don't have that mental strength. So rather, as soon as I get an assignment, I try to guesstimate how long will this take me, and then I'll be like, you know what, let me do it as soon as I can right now.
So I'll tell you this: that's a better and more responsible system than mine. Or no, sorry, it's more responsible. It's definitely more responsible. It's working. It's good. I don't know why it's not moving, but
Yeah, go ahead.
but anyways, yeah. So that's a more responsible system than mine, because I will say the nights that I do study, that I do pull those all nighters, sometimes they get really stressful.
Yeah.
Really stressful.
It's like,
No,
why am I
definitely.
doing this now?
Yeah.
I've had
Yeah.
regrets too. Like, I basically use both your systems except more procrastinating. It's like I'm used to it at this point.
Well, I think you have a good system actually, from what I've seen. From what I've seen from you. I mean,
Yeah,
I don't,
my classes probably aren't as intensive as your guys's, but
What's your major?
business analytics and supply chain.
I see.
And to be honest, like the classes I've taken
Yeah,
so
they don't do
far
nothing.
aren't
Business
aren't
management.
anything
Nothing.
difficult at all. But like, if you don't study beforehand,
well,
either way,
work is work, and having work on your plate, you
Yeah.
still need a system to go about that.
Yeah.
And what I've seen from you is you have a strict schedule
Mm,
in terms of when you're dealing with other people, when you're actually working. Maybe you're not doing actual work, but in terms of like, oh, this is the time when I do this. Sorry, I
Yeah.
can't. I
Yeah.
can't do this and that. And that's also good. I think comes down to I think whatever system that you want to use, it just has to be something where you're not constantly like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this for like a week. Whether it be by establishing a stricter schedule, and maybe that's the way that you deal. Maybe that's the way that you reduce stress. Maybe the thing that you do is see if you can get it done as soon as possible, so it's out of your way.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe the thing you do is my technique, which is that you hold it off until you actually feel like spending mental energy on it, and not spend any mental energy on it otherwise. Because if you have these stressors, dude, that's how people in college
die.
people
Yeah.
die.
No,
Honestly, though,
no,
like
literally, stress is like
Yeah.
it
I
just
mean,
eats
that's
a-
like the extreme.
it
version of
eats
but-
no, it eats away at you. So
I think stress like makes us deal with it different ways. For like me and you, we're like more procrastinators, right? If you want to use that term. For you,
Yeah.
you have a
I
system,
have
right?
this- yeah, sure.
But for me as a procrastinator, like even through high school, like eventually towards the end, like I figured out through all that procrastinating, like once you do the all-nighters, right? You figure out I need to study this.
Yeah.
For me, it's like it made me more efficient in my studying.
Yeah,
I'm not,
for
like,
sure,
I'm not
for
like
sure.
overloading myself with unnecessary crap.
For sure. For
Like
sure.
on exam days, sometimes people just, some people ask questions to the professor. Like,
Yeah.
I don't even listen because I'm like, I don't know what they're asking.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it's going to trip me up.
Yeah,
But I feel
yeah,
like
yeah.
I have a more effective
Uh-huh.
system because I procrastinated. Like, I know what I need to study.
Dude, you are so
I,
right about
I
that.
laid all out.
You're so right about that. There's this thing called. So this was the other principle in the book, and this actually relates to what you're saying. So the Parkinson principle is the first thing, which is that you will get a task done in the allotted amount of time that you give yourself. The other principle is called the Pareto principle. You ever heard of that?
no.
If you've taken like a statistics class, maybe the Pareto distribution is something that you're familiar with. But the Pareto principle is that if you have a set of things that produces, so I know that's a vague term, I'll explain. if you have a set of things that produces 20% of that population of that which produces will produce 80% of the production.
Wait, saying 20.
So I said that in a really confusing way, but 20%
Yeah.
of things that are supposed to bring about good or things that are supposed to bring about production will bring about 80% of the production. And then the last 80% will only bring about 20% of the production. The point of that is that a very small percent of what you're doing is actually responsible for a very large percent of the good that comes out of
Depending
what
on
you're
which group you're in.
doing. No. So here, I'll make this more clear. Let's say that you spend 100% of your time. Let's say you spend 2 hours studying.
Mm-hmm.
It is very likely that a very small
Oh, I know.
part of your time that you spent, maybe, and so the Pareto principle is the 20-80, but it has different forms. So it can be like 10-90, 95,
Yeah.
5-95, whatever. Let's say within 2 hours, 20 minutes is like your gold hotspot. And if you were to only study for those 20 minutes, you would have been 95% as effective as if you studied for the
Oh,
full
I
2
see. I
hours.
see. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
You get what I'm saying? So now that's another big principle. So now what you said was you kind of have your own system because since you procrastinated, you found what works for
Yeah.
you. And so now that's the same for me, where I've found that now since I've limited my time frame so much
Mhm.
that I actually have time to study in, my studying is golden. I'm using the perfect resources.
It's effective.
It's effective.
Yeah. No, definitely.
Like you guys took XPOS, right? In high school, I took it was basically AP Lang.
Uh-huh.
So I didn't have to take XPOS when I came in because like we
Credits.
do our essays. I took the exam,
Yeah. Exactly.
but when I had to write the essays for that class, I do like every Friday, basically what you did. I waited the last day.
Yeah.
I did it like 5 hours before it was due,
Yeah.
and it made me more like effective. Like find what text I need to get or
Exactly.
whatever. It just made me like write my essays now. I just have a system
Exactly.
writing them like, but it doesn't take me long.
You know,
Exactly.
but the main argument against what we're saying, like we're three of the same type, right? So
Mhm.
we're all in agreement. But like if I tell someone like my dad, what we're saying.
Oh,
here,
I never told my parents this.
No, but like if I were like the old-fashioned people, they'd be like, "Oh, you aren't producing your best work." So you might be your maximum efficiency, but as you said, that maximum efficiency is not lasting the entire time.
Bro, but look, okay, if I'm working on something that I care about, if I'm working on this podcast, I want to produce my best work. The time that I spend on this podcast does not feel like time that's gone to waste. But sometimes with classes,
Yeah.
I'm
So
like,
we have
bro,
to specify this. So like we're in this thing we're
Let's
talking
put
about
this
like
down.
our systems is more about like classes and stuff we hate to do.
it's more of a thing that you apply to things that you just need to get done.
Yeah.
Exactly.
If you're trying to make a piece of art, if you're trying to make something
Yeah.
that you can be proud of, if you take pride in your work, even in school, sure.
Go
There's
ahead.
people like that. Go ahead. We welcome that. You know, that whatever you take pride in, spend time in it. Because at the end of the day, those things that you take pride in, you don't take pride in getting them done. You take pride in two other more important things. You take pride in the journey from start to finish. And
What's
you
that saying? What's that saying? It's not.
It's not about the finished.
It's not about the
Something.
destination. It's about how you got there.
Yeah.
There you go. And then
Yeah.
the other thing that you take that you find joy in is how the actual end product looks.
Exactly.
We're talking about things when you need to get through something. Also, you know, you don't want to just pass classes. You want to do well in them.
Yeah.
And I still think my system allows you to do well in a
Yeah.
class.
No, but like
We,
if we're
we
saying
wouldn't be
use
using it
no,
if we hadn't
If-
got
yeah,
this far.
exactly.
No, but if we, it produces results, right? But it's
Yeah.
not your best work.
I disagree.
I think,
'cause
so,
bro,
like,
I
yeah,
think
yeah,
if it didn't give me the results I wanted, I would have changed it a long
Yeah,
time.
yeah,
No, do you
exactly.
do you think you wrote your best essay in those 2 hours?
Dude,
compared
I
to,
actually
honestly?
did. Like, dude, I freaking
What if
knew
you-
this kid who sat in front of me. He started like 3 weeks ago, and he got like a 75, bro.
yeah, bro.
No,
And I
but like,
busted
I
out
got
like
some
2
no,
hours.
no,
within
that's
a
just.
couple
I
hours.
think that's just your like intelligence. But like, imagine if you finish that. Let's say you do. Let's take a look at my thing. My fatal flaw is once I'm done, I'm done. I don't give a damn about it.
Mm.
I'm not looking back at that thing. But imagine I finish my work in 2 hours
Right.
on a Monday. My essay's due Friday. Imagine if I took a look at it even for 10 minutes on Tuesday and then Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I think I could have produced
Yeah,
more work.
sure.
Yeah,
but
but-
I could have tweaked some things
Exactly,
around.
yeah.
But I still think it was like good enough to get me where I want.
Exactly. Good enough. Good enough.
No,
I
no,
agree
no.
with that.
But good enough to get you where you wanted could be just good enough. All right, like for example, if I'm trying to get an A in a class,
Yeah.
I don't care about anything past the line, which is the grade that I need for an A. So I don't care about doing my best work. I just care that it's enough. And yeah, maybe if I spent an hour on it every day, looked at it for 10 minutes, I could get my teacher to be really nice to me and like get my teacher to like my. I don't care.
Yeah.
I don't care. I'm just trying to get the grade I want and piece the hell out of that class, finish up, get my degree. Especially, bro. Especially like for like what when you are like when you change your gear to like job hunting.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, just get me out of this freaking place. Let me spend some time.
Yeah.
Like,
You can just look at the counter on
looking
top.
for a job. I don't know why it's not like.
No, but if the counter on top's going, then we're fine.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Both you are seniors now too, right?
I'm a junior.
I'm a senior.
Zero, I don't even know what grade you're in, bro.
Yeah, I can basically do whatever the hell I want. I decided to become a junior.
But that an AP Lang. So now the kids that did that like spent a lot of days.
That was the thing in that
essay.
class to like start before.
Yeah, but then when you're actually taking the
it's
exam,
like when you're taking the exam, like you don't have like a week
You
to
don't
like
have much
look at the
time.
text.
Exactly.
So that like trained my mind to like find what I need.
Another thing that I get a lot of flack from my parents is that when I do stuff like that, do you feel like you guys actually retain what you learn?
Yes.
Really? I feel like I just lose it as soon as I'm done.
Well,
I've lost it in some cases.
I've lost all of it. I don't remember a
If
thing.
it's stuff you need to memorize, then you need to give yourself a couple days.
Yeah. What
You give yourself a couple days if it's stuff you need to memorize?
Well,
I mean, I haven't
you wanna
come
memorize
across
it and
anything
retain
where
it.
I've need to retain in my classes yet.
Yeah.
But like something like CS 111, like I've retained stuff from that.
yeah.
A simple class.
If
like
it's
that.
conceptual stuff, you
Yeah.
can still do it the night before and you'll hold on to it.
My thing, when I was in a senior in high school, trying to decide what major I should become, my first choice that I clicked and pressed submit on was to go to school of pharmacy for Rutgers, right? So I was like, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and do this. But then I realized I have a really bad memory. Like, I don't know if it's because my style, like I said, or just a really bad memory, but I can't retain things. So I swapped to CS. So now whenever I take a CS class, I use my method. I finish my project early. I sometimes go to lecture and look through the notes, slides and stuff. But as soon as I leave that class, I don't remember anything. Like, that's why like when younger kids come up to me and ask like help, do you remember what you did in algorithms and stuff like that? I'm like, dude, I don't remember what I did in that class. I just got by and passed it.
Yeah.
I feel like the
that
classes
can
we're in, I mean the majors we're in, we don't need to like necessarily retain it because we can just like use the information.
Yeah,
Exactly.
We can just pull it up like Stack Overflow or something.
Speaking of pharmacists, okay.
What?
Sorry,
Do you want to
I'm
wrap this
going-
topic up? Or
What?
are we
Speaking
wrapping this
of
up, or-
pharmacists.
No, I mean, I'm going on a tangent here. We'll come back to this.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I mean, we can wrap that talk about.
I was just wondering where you pulled pharmacists from.
No, because I said...
because he's
Oh,
at
you
school
said-
of pharmacy.
Oh,
So I was gonna go-
I didn't hear that.
Okay, so as I said before, because
I missed
Ahmed
that.
wasn't paying attention, I was going to go into
Dude,
pharmacy.
I just missed your word.
I was going to go to pharmacy, but I have a terrible memory, so I didn't.
Oh, okay, dude.
Oh yeah, by the way, these things,
I didn't hear
dude.
that part.
Sometimes
My
I
bad.
tell people like, okay, I'm gonna be
Damn,
real
you could've been a
honest.
pharmacist.
I hope people who I hope the wrong people don't hear this, but I didn't really go to a lot of classes
Yeah, same.
at all.
I don't,
I admit it.
dude.
And that's not to say I didn't learn the things because I learned them very well. I think I learned them better than if I had gone to the classes.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know.
Let me just say one thing
But-
before you continue.
Yeah.
Not going to classes is fine, and I don't know where you're going with that, but I just want to say that if you're trying to become a person who doesn't go to class, realize that you will never have any connection with your professor whatsoever. So if you're in the type of major that like, for us, I don't care, Arsha doesn't care, Ahmed doesn't care, but like if you're trying to like, I don't know, go to grad school or trying to do pre-med or whatever, and like trying to find research labs and stuff, you better go to class and just make that connection.
I just hate when people bring up the argument, oh, you're paying for like classes to like
Yeah.
learn Like, you don't have to go. I'm going there for the grade.
You're paying to take
I'm
the
not
No,
exam.
I'm
Yeah.
paying to get my
Exactly.
diploma. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, so yeah. Also, if you're pre-med, you shouldn't. I personally don't think that this whole like wait until last day type studying, except for some classes, because if you're pre-med, it is a lot of like you have to know stuff for a longer time or whatever it might be. So maybe it doesn't work. But I don't know. Maybe you could talk to them.
Yeah, I feel like this only works
I
for
mean,
exam
kids.
we're way different.
Yeah.
Our stuff.
So yeah. By the way, just to clarify, I'm ECE, electrical and computer engineering. He's CS and he's a business major.
Yeah.
So yeah, so it can work for us. What I was about to say was, what was I about to say?
You're
just
saying
something
about
pharmacy.
No.
not going to class. I hate to admit
Yeah,
it.
not going to class. Okay. Whenever I tell people like, oh, I don't go to class, it worked for me, and I'm like, I recommend trying it just a little bit. They're always like, oh man, that only works like that only works like, oh, if you're smart or
Yeah.
something. No, dude.
That's
Yeah.
a lie.
Dude.
Anyone can freaking
Yeah.
do this. I promise. I promise anyone can do this. It's just a matter of like Ahmed said, you need to perfect your method,
Yeah.
and you need to be systematic about it. You can't just not go to class and then do well. You cannot go to class and establish a system where you still learn things without going to class.
I used to say when I was a kid to my parents that, oh look, my friends didn't study at all. Look at them, right? But that's false. So you can't just expect to like not do anything and just magically know stuff. Like we're not like magic. We don't absorb information by touching it. Like you have to put in the effort.
Coming out of high school, like I had this system of at that time I learned how to self-learn.
Yeah.
So I was like, there's no need for me to like sit there for an hour, waste my time.
Yeah, exactly.
Being like playing Papa Pizzeria, lecture.
No, exactly. So the main thing for Archie Continuous is if you need to learn somehow. So if you want to put in the effort during class, go ahead. But if you don't, then you better put the effort in outside of class.
Absolutely. Yeah. You need to put the effort in outside of class, but you need to perfect your system. If you want to reduce the amount of time that you're spending on a class, you don't just randomly reduce it.
Yeah.
Because then you're literally just getting in less hours. What you need to do is you need to perfect your system so that you require less time. So what that means is, okay, so we were talking about, I was talking about the Pareto distribution.
Mm-hmm.
So 20% of that will produce 80%. So now if you think about your studying time, let's say you study for 100 minutes, an hour and 40 minutes, typically maybe 10 to 20 minutes of that is going to be your really productive time. So now you figure, but now also you can say that if you have 4 resources, four things that you're looking at, or 5 things that you're looking at, typically the one that's golden is just one.
Yeah.
It's just one.
Yeah.
And you can have friends that will tell you, that will fill in the gaps in those other 4. You need friends in the class, first of all. If you're not a social being and you're trying to do things on your own, you need to become a social being. Yeah. Okay? You need to become a social being, and you need to learn how to work with people to get information.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, okay, so now these 4 resources, whittle them down to one. And you know a great way to know which one is the best resource? If a class has quizzes, like once a week or something, or if they have anything online that's like a practice quiz or something, just within the first couple of weeks, narrow down which resources. Using those quizzes, narrow down which resources are good. Even if it's a graded quiz, you can sacrifice a quiz. Be careful with this. Be very careful with this, okay? You can sacrifice a quiz grade for the sake of knowing which resource
is important. Yeah. Because
don't sacrifice an exam.
Yeah. No, but like I've had the experience of like having to like tutor like a whole class of students. I had to make my own quizzes and stuff, and like it's painful. Professors are lazy. I respect them and everything for being knowledgeable and stuff, but they're humans just like us, and they are extremely, extremely lazy.
And they're very different from high school teachers.
Yes, there's that stigma that when you come from high school that you expect like professors like if we can grade your homework and give it back to you, like God, I don't know how many homeworks I gave and I never got back. Yeah. But like that's not gonna happen.
They don't care. It's not their. They have like a million billion.
Yeah, they have. They're underpaid.
That's
have
why
a million
they got
classes.
TAs.
Yeah, and they literally they have this job. They are professors. Like usually they are professors not because they care about you, but because they care about like their movement forward in academia.
Yeah.
It's not like they're just trying to work on their research. They're trying to do whatever, and they happen to have to work and they have to happen. They have to work as professors if they want to continue doing that for the university.
Exactly.
And like high school teachers are very different because high school teachers become teachers. Bro,
Because they wanna
ain't
be.
nobody want a freaking 40K job except for the fact that you get to work with kids and they're passionate about it.
Exactly. Yeah.
And you're not moving forward in freaking academia because you're teaching a high school subject. Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I guess
very
it's
unlikely. It's very unlikely, but yeah. Most high school teachers are there knowing that they want to become a teacher, but most
Yeah.
college professors are there
They
just
love teaching.
Yeah, not always. There's some when we can't say that all teachers or high school teachers are good,
Yeah.
but like most of the time. But like most professors are there. You guys have to recognize like just because they have to be there, like they got to be tied to a college.
dude,
Somewhere.
I actually just realized I don't understand when like high school teachers are just like terrible and like they look like they just don't care about their job, because why would you become a teacher then?
I mean, Lord knows what went through their life, and like maybe it's going pretty crappy for them, but
No,
I
but
don't
you have to put in a considerable amount of time to become a teacher.
not really. Don't you just need a teaching certificate?
No, so typically what you want is, I mean, from what I've heard, is like you want an undergraduate degree in something.
I mean,
Not only
that's
then, once you have an undergraduate degree in something, you can get a better job than a teacher, like as in salary wise.
not always, man. I
Well,
feel
sometimes-
like we don't know how it is out there yet, so I don't want to comment too heavily. But I feel like I'm not going to pretend like there aren't just crappy people out
You need a
there.
master's. A lot of them get masters in education,
Yeah.
and sometimes the really crap. When I'm talking about crappy teacher, I don't mean people that don't know how to teach. I mean people who just look like they don't freaking want to be there.
Yeah,
And I'm like, if you were to be a teacher, because there aren't a lot of selling points to being a teacher, except for that if you like, being an influence on people as they grow and, being an influence on high school kids,
yeah,
then, like, that's the only selling point, really.
exactly.
And these people just seem like they don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I actually
And,
took I was taking an econ class in high school, and the guy who taught it, he worked like some corporate job, and then he just came. He was like I hated that
that's what I
job,
was
so I
gonna
just
say,
wanted
yeah.
to come teach.
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
thing is, he felt the passion for the thing.
Yeah.
Exactly. And
He was making a lot of money too.
as a teacher?
high school.
No, corporate.
I was about to
Not
say.
high school. No, it was a downgrade.
Yeah.
But he just hated working corporate.
Yeah.
No, I think that's the thing. I feel like most teachers. So in my experience, in the academy, we basically had an electrical engineering teacher, and he used to be, the man had like freaking like double-digit patents and everything, and he used to work at Bell Labs, and like he was super smart and everything, but he decided to become a teacher at our high school, and I feel like teaching, especially like specific industries like econ, electrical engineering, and other stuff, it's kind of seen as like a midway point or transition into retirement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why I feel like a lot of teachers don't take it seriously, especially if they're older, right?
Yeah.
So like, and then there's also the case with the younger people, like they're still ambitious and stuff, so they come into a teaching job expecting something, but that's not what they expected,
Yeah.
and it ends up them kind of being disappointing.
Yeah.
But either way, I feel like we shouldn't comment too much because teaching is one of the most noblest.
Yeah, for sure. I mean,
Yeah.
when I'm saying these things, I'm just wondering, because you need a certain type of. By the way, Humam just came in. You could
What's up,
you could shout out. But yeah. So when I'm saying all these things, yeah, I have a lot of respect for teachers because you are willingly taking a 40K, a little more than 40K, 40 to 50K salary for what? For a noble cause. That's the only reason you would do it. So now for
Some people take the money because they have nothing else to do.
I don't know, man. I feel like most teachers have other things that they could do.
40, 50K money, and do you get insurance? I'm assuming you get some insurance.
I don't know, bro, but it's still not.
Yeah, I've seen some teachers actually their salaries are like 100K.
Yo, I oh,
Where?
well, that's if
I was
you're
like, we had a list.
if you've
at
been
our
there for a
school.
long time, but
Yeah.
dude, at most places you can be making.
Yeah.
That's like senior level, like freaking
Yeah.
principal. My principal at my school, we were ranked like top 20 in the country, and my principal was making 120K.
Yeah, over there it's like
Yeah.
Once you work there long enough, then
Yeah,
And
but that's like
Yeah.
that's like end game.
Yeah.
End
think
game is
about
120K.
dude. Think
Yeah.
think about how long your principal has been in the game.
She was old. She retired in front of me, so she's been a teacher for at least 4 years.
Like walks up to Zarir, she's like, I retire.
yeah, Zarir, don't you have a story where you're like hiding under your
Oh my god,
Yeah,
I'm
you
so,
want to tell them in a second.
I'm so mad that yeah sure, but I'm
No,
so
it's
mad
okay.
that we lost that footage.
Yeah. Oh, we freaking lost an hour of footage last episode.
That was probably our funniest hour. Like we said, my story,
It was
your
good.
story. That was hilarious. But yeah,
But yeah, I mean, dude, that principal was in the game for a long freaking
Exactly.
time, And 120K, yeah, like I'm not gonna say that's any low amount of money. That's a lot of money.
That's a lot of money. Yeah.
But for someone who went to college and got a degree, and
I
has
think she
been
had a
working
PhD.
That's
a PhD.
that's summer break though. Winter, summer,
Yeah.
weekends.
Yeah.
They
She
have
works-
like more off time. I guess that's a positive
true.
side if you want to look at it.
Yeah, but even in summer break, yeah, I guess.
No,
I guess, but
I
it's
mean,
still
I'm
a
just
lot.
saying if,
You don't
if
get
there's
paid. You don't get paid during summer break, do you?
unless you're doing like summer like school or something. I don't know.
Yeah. So then they're unemployed for 3 months. That's not good.
But bro, like if you have the credentials to be a teacher, you usually have the credentials to do a lot of other higher paying job because 40 to 50K is not bad in the grand scheme of things, but it's not the best.
It's not
when-
worth for the effort you have to put in. Yeah.
And the only like degree that I could see you coming out of school with and being like, oh, okay, teacher sounds maybe reasonable is if you have like a psych degree. Because what in the hell do you do with a freaking psych degree?
You
Dude,
go to
I
grad
don't know.
school.
What in the hell do you do after that? You become a clinical psychologist?
I don't even think you can do that. I think you need
I
to get
wouldn't-
some sort of doctorate to do that.
Well,
For
no,
psych
I
degree?
respect it. So I respect people that. So my cousin actually is
Psych
you know,
major?
working on her.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I'm actually forgetting right now, but she's doing like her PhD in psych, and I respect that because that, like, you know, you do that because of your love for academia. You do that because of your love for the subject, not because it is the most lucrative thing. But a lot of people that are not that kind of people get psych degrees.
Yeah.
I feel like
It's an easy degree.
isn't psych like a default pre-med thing?
I know some
psych?
people use it to get
Oh,
into
never mind.
pre-med.
Can
not
you?
A lot of people.
Yeah,
Are you allowed?
Yeah,
A lot of
you
people-
can
we
do.
have a
You,
pre-med
you can
expert
do.
in the back.
You can do
You
any.
can come to front if you
You
want.
can do any major
can
to
ju-
get into pre-med. You could do English or anything.
No, but does
Yeah, you
psych
could do anything.
cover most of the pre-med stuff? You see here.
Does what?
No.
Does what?
Chill there,
cover?
chill there. You can talk from there. You can talk from
Oh
there.
yeah, the mic will pick you up. But does psych cover all of your pre-med
Yeah.
stuff?
No, you have to
not
take
sure,
pre-med.
bro.
You have to take pre-med classes. It
But
doesn't
if you
cover
wanted
everything.
to be a psych major and be pre-med, you can.
But what-
Yeah, you could.
Yeah, you have to
But-
take the pre-med classes.
So like, you don't have to go to like
Yeah.
med school to be like a doctor in psychology.
Yeah.
Like you can go learn like family studies and then be like a family psychologist.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
work with like kids and stuff, and that's still good money.
Yeah, or you could be like a guidance counselor. I think
Exactly.
Exactly. I was about to say
Yeah.
that too. Yeah.
But
it
yeah,
depends like which route you want to go.
But I feel like if you're gonna do that, it's the same thing. No one wants to be a guidance counselor and deal with annoying kids unless they actually want to
Yeah.
help them out. No one's like thinking, you know
well,
what?
dude, I don't think people. If I'm gonna be honest, I don't think you become a guidance counselor because you want to. I think that's something that happens to you. Like I think you have a psych degree and you don't know what the hell to do with it. and
I
you're
had a
like, oh,
teacher
okay.
that turned into a guidance counselor like 2 years after I had her.
Yeah.
She's like teaching Spanish. and then
I'm sure
became
that's a
guidance
lot less
counselor.
stressful.
Yeah, I feel like it is because
I
you
think
don't
it is.
have to make up. It's so hard to make a curriculum. Like it's
yeah, but
actually
you only make a
painful.
curriculum like once and you make edits to it. You don't.
No, but then
And the curriculum is made by like everyone together. Like all the
no, but they
teachers.
revamp it a lot.
Dude,
But like psychology is like a lot of brain studies and then like social studies.
Yeah, so that's what I'm
Yeah.
saying. If you're gonna do social work, you better have that persona to work
Yeah.
with people.
Yeah.
Or don't do social work.
Yeah, and I have like, I feel like psych is one of those degrees where like you just go to school. This is I'm speaking for a lot of people. I know I'm speaking in vague terms. If you're a psych major, don't get offended by this.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell's going on in your personal experience. I'm just talking right now. By the way, I don't know a damn thing about anything. And neither do any of us really. We're just talking, okay? So don't put any particular weight on anything we're saying.
There's a YouTuber, Anthony Fantano, who reviews music. People hate him because he has really controversial music opinions. But at the bottom of every one of his videos, he says, this is just my opinion,
Oh,
right?
yeah. He's
Yeah,
the guy
so-
with the glasses, right?
Yeah.
Bald guy.
So this is just our opinions on what we're saying, and like opinions can never be wrong because they're just opinions.
Well, some opinions can be wrong.
the fact is just don't get offended.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't-
Yeah. Look, we don't know anything.
We're not
okay?
trying to piss anyone off, but yeah.
Yeah. Hey, if you get pissed off, write in the comments, okay?
So yeah, subscribe to us. We'll talk to you.
If you get offended, like and subscribe.
Yeah, but I was saying like if most people I know that get a psych degree, they're just like, oh, I'm in school now. Like, okay, so they're in high school, and then they're like, they don't know what they want to do. They're done with high school, and they're like, oh, I guess I'm supposed to go to college. They go to college, and they're like, oh, gotta pick a major.
They end up going to grad school.
Exactly.
And they get
I don't
psych,
know
and
how-
then they're like done with undergrad, and they're like, I guess I apply for jobs.
Graduate school.
Dude,
Deny.
how do you do that? Like, ever since I was a freaking sophomore in high school, I was thinking, what the hell do I want to do in life? Like, I don't understand how people come into college and be an undecided major. Like,
Yeah. Dude,
like, do you have like? I feel like they're just too stressful. Like, you have no idea what your future is gonna be, and like again, I guess it just goes with my persona. But like, I need to know what I'm working towards, and if I'm working towards nothing, then I don't get how you continue.
I think people are different, and there is some like commentary to be made on like,
Why do you pour out your water into a cup?
I totally forgot. That was kind of like
Loud, yeah.
no,
ASMR
it was
type
like
thing.
it was like nice. I understand when people like don't. I understand when people like don't know exactly what they want to be doing, because I didn't know like exactly. I knew I wanted to do engineering, and I narrowed it down to like a couple. I do think like sometimes the people that are like, maybe this is how you're describing yourself. I don't know. And sometimes when people like know exactly to the freaking T what they're doing, I think that's a little bit unhealthy, because I think if you are at a very young age like turning yourself into like a, you know, my life needs to be a productivity machine type thing, that can be unhealthy. I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but then I also think the polar opposite is also very unhealthy, where you're just like, I guess I'll just live it day by day. I'll figure it out.
No, my point was that, like you said, like, oh, like you said, the classic person, like, oh my god, I'm in college now, I need to choose a degree. Let me just randomly choose psychology, like stuff like that. Like if you want to explore and like you narrowed it down to a couple and you want to check it out, then I'm fine with that. Like that's cool. But if you're just doing nothing and just living day to day, how?
Just choose something.
How do you do that?
Yeah. By the way, if you want to chime in at some point, you can. Yeah. But yeah, like so I know people that are like in my major, they're going into their 4th year of electrical engineering, and they like gag at the sight of circuits. I'm like, bro, pick a different major.
At that point, it's
pick a different major.
They've invested too hard into it.
No, okay, yeah, no, I'm saying you should know before you pick electrical engineering that you have some semblance of an idea of what the hell you're gonna be doing.
I'm not gonna lie, I was gonna be electrical engineering back when I was an engineer.
Why did you stop?
Why did I what?
I thought you were gonna do industrial.
I was thinking between industrial and electrical, but the thing was like I didn't have anyone to like.
Industrial is a fake engineer.
Yeah, I didn't have anyone to guide me because everyone around me was like med, and I knew I didn't want to do that like coming out of high school.
Yeah.
So the thing is like when you have like when you're deciding a major or when you're undecided, thing is just the guidance you get from people around you. Like once you start to talk to people, look into it, you get more of an idea.
Yeah,
I feel like some people don't have the guidance that we got.
That's fair.
I have a firm belief though that like your past experiences define the career you're about to embark on.
Yeah, for sure.
You're definitely in the like idea of like, so like going back to like what you're saying like with like psychologists and stuff, like most therapists and psychologists, they've had an experience in their life in the sense of like, I don't want anyone else to go through this anymore. Like I don't want them to go through what I went through. So like that's why they become therapists.
Yeah.
Or that's why they become like.
Yeah, for
sure. I think that's true to some degree too, but I think like someone like a supply chain major, no one goes into that going passionate about like procurement management.
I'm well. So there's people that are passionate about business.
Oh, that's another thing. How are business majors a thing?
Your major doesn't also define your career.
That's for sure. Yeah, your career.
Need to go, like, that's like anyone in business, like they kind of know what they want to do in the future. It's just like in college they don't care about their major. You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. How do you have a major like dedicated to learning how to do business? Like you can't really.
Yeah. I mean, my major's not business. It's like specific.
I think so like there's definitely like specifics to his major that like you kind of have to go to school for. It's probably very freaking little. Like,
Dude,
I could probably learn that.
The truth is like
freaking online.
Yeah, no, the truth is like the majors I'm doing are like honestly all you need is 2 semesters to complete them.
Exactly.
Like if you're gonna do business analytics, you only need 2 semesters. You only have 7 classes for that major that are like actually relevant.
Bro, every business class has the same 3 words. There's business, financial management. So they take management, financial business, financial business management. This is like all the freaking classes sound like
I've taken intro to management skills, and it's like
they all have the same words.
Intro to marketing.
Dude, this is the definition of business. Just making one small thing seem much bigger than.
That's why I also think a problem with the business curriculum is like 14 fluff classes. Like if someone's gonna be passionate about something, I know they're not gonna be passionate about business. If you're gonna be passionate about business, you're going into like some management major.
No, that's the thing. I feel like specifically for your major, like RBS is really popular now because we had the
It's
the thing, the
yeah,
$1
it's
million thing, right?
Dude,
Yeah.
So that
Yeah.
we're really popular because of that. But this is what I hate to see. I experienced this a lot in the academy.
Roasting rights, full price.
Yeah.
We'll get them all one day.
Facts. That would be good. No, but like I hate seeing this. I feel like you can back me up on this or not.
Okay.
But I feel like whatever they did was not because of Rutgers, right? Was it, like, do you think
Right.
they learned stuff
Dude,
from the Rutgers
no,
class?
everything like I've
Nope.
done like aside from my classes, nothing was influenced by
Exactly.
my classes.
Dude,
I had this in my high school.
And that's why I like hated the curriculum like so far. It's like nothing I can apply right now.
yeah. Yo, I know people that are in the business school that can't hold a conversation, like, even a little bit.
They rather have
very-
social skills.
And
as
I'm
well.
just like, there's very few necessities. You could have a brick for a freaking brain and get A's in all your classes. You could be a freaking idiot and be in the business school. There's very few necessities for you to come out of that and be like, oh, okay, like this was a success for me. And one of the freaking biggest ones, one of the only ones, is that you need to know how to talk to people.
Yeah.
You need to know how to be a salesman in a sense, not sell items, but like in your speech be a salesman.
Yeah, dude, that's the selling point of the business school. That's why they have business forum, the 2 credit.
I heard
class.
that's the most BS class ever.
It's not. It
It's
shouldn't
really
be a
not.
class. It's just people coming in to talk, like companies, and thing is like maybe you can connect with them, but we couldn't do that since we were online.
That's the thing. I was about to say
Yeah.
that too. Like the only thing that I would assume Rutgers provides, Rutgers does not provide any like knowledge that you can't find itself. The
Exactly,
only thing
yeah.
it may provide is that the opportunity.
Yeah.
Like it doesn't even give you like the chance, like the guaranteed chance. It's like there's a slight opportunity that you might meet with someone
Yeah.
that could help you out in the future.
Yo,
And like networking is a big part of that. Like
Yeah.
I feel like that's the only reason.
I remember we went on this tangent before. Pharmacy. So you talked about school of pharmacy.
Okay, yeah, pharmacy.
Sorry, going back to that. What in the hell does a pharmacist do that can't be done by a computer? I'm genuinely curious.
That's
I'm genuinely curious.
It's actually the thing. Like it's becoming like oversaturated pharmacy.
No, yeah, that was the main. That was another reason I turned it away. Like all my friends kept saying, "Dude, you're gonna get outed by a robot within like a
Yeah.
generation."
Bro, like,
But the only
That's-
thing I
that's
want
what
to
I've been
say,
hearing.
the only thing I want to say is, the human touch will never get replaced.
okay,
I
no,
feel
no,
like.
no, no. But with pharmacists, maybe it might. Because look, here's the thing. Pharmacy, from what I've understood it, so I have had people who are pharmacists explain this to me, or people go in pharmacy school. From my understanding, is like I still don't know what the hell a pharmacist does. Even the people I was talking to, they're literally out of school. They like have jobs as
Sell
pharmacists.
you some drugs.
They're like, I'm gonna
drugs.
be honest. I don't really know what pharmacists do. I'm like, okay, fair enough. Here's my understanding. The same way, okay, so you know how like there's this when a software engineer makes a software,
Mhm.
there's still this like you need like an IT person around, like you need an IT person to be there as like, and multiple IT people to be like checkpoints
IT
where, like,
infrastructure.
yeah, you need that infrastructure to be set up so that the thing can be run well and so that they can act as different checkpoints between each other, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And
It's
so
like
that
to
the
set up a
actual system can be run
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
In from my understanding, a pharmacist is essentially an IT professional of the medical industry, where they're all checkpoints and part of this infrastructure, and they're not necessarily involved. They're not necessarily doing any unique work in
I mean, there are different types of pharmacists, but you're thinking
There's
about the
different
classic
types of-
CVS pharmacist.
I'm talking about CVS pharmacists. Uh,
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm thinking about CVS pharmacists and also like a lot of hospital pharmacists.
Yeah, there's
because-
three types. There's the CVS pharmacists. What are they? Clerical,
Clinical.
something. Whatever. The store pharmacist, the hospital
Clinical.
pharmacist, and then the research pharmacist.
Yeah,
are the
okay,
ones-
so research pharmacists. Now, here's what I'm confused about is if you're like a research pharmacist, like the type that
I don't know if
like,
that's the
make
name, but like
drugs-
that's what they do.
the type that like make drugs and stuff. Usually the ones that are like maybe they play a part in making the drugs, but usually the ones that are making drugs are chemical engineers, from my understanding. Unless I
Are they?
totally
I
have
don't-
that backwards.
I think that's
No,
not.
they work like together though.
Yeah.
Because,
They work
like,
together.
Because
Yeah.
for pharmacists, they have more of like the applicable knowledge, like how things will actually react.
Right, exactly.
But here's the interesting thing with the chemical and pharmacist. You know, remember our supervisor? He was chemical engineer. He was talking about how.
Talking about Faye? Faye was not a.
No,
Chemical
bro.
engineers don't have the extent
He
of
was-
knowledge.
he was
as
our-
pharmacists,
Oh,
they'll
yeah.
be going to
But here's the
Yeah.
thing, like their field's oversaturated too. He was telling it was Hassan, right?
Yeah.
He was telling us how his field was oversaturated,
Yeah.
right? And that's kind of interesting.
No, I
They're
just-
so close to
yeah.
each other, and
Yeah.
they both have the
No,
same.
I just want to bring
problem
up
with
Mom's
jobs.
point. Like a pharmacist studies for 6 years.
Yeah.
6 years.
That's
six
if you go to Ernesto.
6 to 7 years. Yeah,
Yeah.
6 to 7 years.
Ernesto.
3 to
Ernesto.
3 to
Ernest.
3 to
Ernesto. He called
Yeah,
it
yeah.
Ernesto.
No, it's
Ernesto. I
Ernest
thought it was
Ernest
Ernesto.
Mario School
Yeah, I thought it was
Pharmacy.
Ernesto.
No, but anyway, no. They
Mario.
study. No, isn't it 2 years of undergrad or is it 3 years?
It's for like just generally it's 3 to 4 years of graduate.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So like,
Yeah.
in the way it works in Rutgers, I'm gonna go off Rutgers, and apparently their pharmacy school is really good. But anyway, they have 2
Yeah.
years of pre-professional years,
Yeah.
which is just when they're studying like pure knowledge.
I think
And
4 years.
it's
of
br-
graduate.
yeah, 4 years of like they do like rotations and then higher level classes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, but the thing is, that's the difference between a chemical engineer and a pharmacist. I feel like a chemical engineer might be like able to understand and stuff, but if you're thinking about like groundbreaking theoretical work, I feel like that's gonna be more
Maybe.
a research pharmacist.
Potentially. I think a lot of the current, like, maybe those jobs are, but you know, a lot of people don't find themselves doing those jobs. Like from what I've heard, is that's like, sure, I don't think pharmacy is gonna die.
Yeah,
I
it's a
think
small
lot of jobs
percentage.
are gonna.
It's a small.
A lot of jobs, a lot of the jobs are basically bookkeeping jobs. From what I understand, I could be totally freaking wrong about that, but a lot of them are bookkeeping jobs.
Yeah.
And bookkeeping can be done by, it can be done by software.
There's,
and so,
there's definitely parts of it that are gonna be like automated.
yeah, and if you're going, so Khalid, who's one of my housemates, he was telling me, I was trying to tell him, I was like, you know, you're a smart kid, mashallah, you know, you put in a lot of work. Maybe think about doing something other than pharmacy, because you're gonna.
He's
put
younger
in,
than you or older?
He's younger.
He's a freshman.
He's gonna be putting in a lot of work, like a lot of work, and maybe be in a position where it's hard to find a job, and then eventually down the line it's gonna be even harder. And I know my sister was telling me a lot of pharmacists go to med school right now.
Yeah.
No, but that's the thing. The research pharmacist things you were talking about is a very. I think it's a small.
It depends. No, like it all depends what kind of pharmacy you go into. And dude, the major reason, like a lot of people like actually confuse like stats about pharmacists. Like the real reason like pharmacy is just dying is because pharmacists right now they just hate their lives, because what pharmacists do is they interact daily, right, with like people who need medications, right?
Yeah.
So when they don't get their medications, they're just yelling, screaming, cursing at the pharmacist
Yeah.
when they can't give them the drugs,
Yeah.
right? So if that's your daily interaction for your job every single day, you're gonna hate your life.
Yeah.
So that's like a major reason why people aren't doing it.
Mm, but I don't think that's a contributor why like it's becoming oversaturated, because part of the automation, like I know like someone who's working in a hospital pharmacy right now,
Yeah.
and like they've been telling me like part of the reason why the jobs are on decline is because of automation.
Yeah, I think that's a reason for people to quit things. But oversaturation at the end of the day is still like people are working their jobs, and there's too few jobs.
Healthcare field's getting like tougher and tougher.
No, but like what Humam said, I want to bring it up. Like the main reason, not the main reason, but like a big point a lot of people go into pharmacy is that your job might be stressful in the fact that you have to deal with customers, but like you're basically like a 6-figure salary paid
that's
cashier.
That's the
because
big.
you're working at the same place,
Yeah.
but you're just instead of me scanning your toilet paper, I'm scanning your whatever
Your
drug.
Oxy- your
That's the
OxyContin.
farm tech. The farm tech is doing a really
Oh, yeah, farm
Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
Farm tech,
But
but
still,
the pharmacist is there
the
too.
Pharmacist,
Yeah.
The pharmacist is like farm tech plus.
The
What?
pharmacist is in charge of the farm.
Yeah.
Right? Like they
Yeah.
don't oversee it.
So I was talking to my brother-in-law about it, and my brother-in-law he's doing medicine, and he was saying that basically like a pharmacist, it seems to me from an outside point of view, and also to him, that like a pharmacist is like could have been someone who's like a farm tech and got really familiarized with their work and the nature of the work that they're doing, and then like ended up becoming like a manager for farm techs, which is obviously like you need to go to school for all this stuff,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
that's basically like what it feels like. He was telling me he has this one friend that works in like 7-Eleven corporate, or like works at like he works at Rite Aid,
Okay.
and he's the pharmacist there. So when people ask him, like, they're like, oh, what do you do? He's like, oh, I'm the resident pharmacist at Rite Aid. And they're like, oh, so you work at Rite Aid? He's like, no, so you work at Rite Aid.
You're basically okay. I'll rephrase you. You're not the cashier. You're the manager of the.
It's just funny.
Drug
Like,
cashiers.
obviously they should have more respect on their names.
Managing cashier, senior cashier.
Yeah.
Senior cashier at Rite
Yeah.
Aid.
Dude, when I was applying to jobs, like, I think this was like last year, I saw one for 7-Eleven corporate to be a software engineer.
Wow.
And I applied, but I realized, like, if I got the job, I'd be like, oh, I'm a software
I work
engineer,
at
whatever, 7-Eleven.
Oh, no.
And everything would go out the freaking opposite ear except for 7-Eleven. Oh, so you work at 7-Eleven?
Yeah, exactly. I saw the same thing. I used to work at CVS as a cashier, and then I saw like an internship for CVS, and I was like,
right.
do I want to do this? Oh my god.
Yeah, well, I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter.
At 7-Eleven.
No.
That just sounds like one of those things that you like make up on your like resume. Like, you know, when you like work at a random place, like if you work at something like
Oh, dude, my
it's
resume.
like designed and made efficient, the photography machine at 7-Eleven.
This is my resume, word for word, that I used last year. Literally last year, I was a sales associate at CVS.
Okay, but that's your actual job title.
No, I thought it was a cashier.
No, but they call everyone sales associates.
They do. Yeah, sales associate at cashier, responsible for working sole point of sale machinery at 10,000 square foot store. All right, that was like first line, and like handles customer interactions and managed dilemmas with other people. Second line. Third line was like worked and audited like $100,000 thingamajiggies or whatever. But the thing was, I was just a cashier. The $100,000 was our store like sales. But all I did for the quote unquote audit was scan at the thing, right, and give them the receipt. So I just said I was part of the audit process. Like, that was literally my resume until last year.
Dude, you know what's a freaking beast word to use on a resume?
What?
Oversee.
Oh yeah.
Oversee.
It's
Yeah, ready? Look, here, pretend this is your job. You go and you like rearrange the shelves, right?
Yeah.
Oversaw.
Rearranging of shelves.
No, oversaw
No,
inventory.
no.
Oversaw
Yeah.
inventory.
Oversaw organization of inventory.
Boom! Dude, this is what like, this is a growing field, but like there needs to be people out there who just write resumes. Like,
There are
it's,
people out there that write
Yeah,
resumes.
There's
I don't think
definitely
it's enough.
resume
It's just
writers.
like the same freaking Princeton review, all crap. That's just like, oh yeah, we'll take your resume and like tutor you in Kaplan and all that stuff. But there's no
Well,
like
you gotta find like private people.
Dude, those are like
Private
high
people.
school companies.
You gotta find private people. for
exactly,
sure.
no, but like there's an art form to making
Yeah.
yourself look good on a resume. I wish I was a good writer just because of that. Like, people can make themselves seem so well, but then you meet them in real life and you're like, these people are idiots. Like, what? My
Dude,
god.
Dude, beefing up your resume is so fun.
Especially in
Shout out
CS. Especially in CS. Because in CS, if you guys don't know, there's two types of developers. There's real developers who use real languages like Java and then Python maybe even and like C++, and they do like powerful code. And then there's obviously like the machine learning and stuff like that. And the second type of people are the freaking front-end developers who make stuff centered and look pretty, and then they just call themselves like software engineers, but in reality they don't
like
know.
using HTML.
Wait, aren't you a front end developer for IBM right now?
What do you mean front-end developer?
That's what you freaking told me.
Never say that again. I am a software engineer, back-end developer in IBM. All right. It's like,
You
I mean,
use
it's
the
not back-end
HTML
developer.
to
It's,
You know who's a front end developer?
Who?
I'm not gonna. We've said his name too many times on this.
Okay, yeah, but like,
It's over.
no, but like if you recognize you're a front-end developer and you say that, then I'm fine with it. But like, if you know you're front-end developer and then you
I'm a software
engineer that
Shut your goddamn mouth.
oh my god, it pisses me off because
Use
then
the HTML to make font big.
You engineering this goddamn image.
no, I used to be one of the naive. I used to think that, oh my god, this website looks so pretty. You must have put in so much effort. But then I realized it's just a freaking copy paste of a template and you just change the words.
Yeah,
Like,
bro.
it's actually something that infuriates me.
Yeah.
Whenever, but like, it's niche to CS, so hopefully you guys won't have to deal with it. But like, yeah, I just don't like front end developers.
Yeah. Yo, guys, let's take a little break.
Yeah.
let's get back into it.
Yeah.
Right, welcome
Wait,
back.
hold
to
on,
the-
hold on.
He's
special
he's-
shout out
he-
to Zarir's high school math teacher.
He's texting him right now.
Yeah, I am. I'm actually sending the podcast link right now because I'm gonna forget.
You need to not lean on me, brother.
Hold on, man. Did we start?
Yes, we started.
No.
We're in, we're live.
Zarir always on his
Yo.
phone.
Hold on. Don't start. My phone
How
is
do you
very
guys
low.
feel about beaches?
Beaches.
I love
beaches?
beaches.
I think they're very nice and very clean. I like the water and the sand. I like to run around in it and then roll around until I get wet.
Is that where that stops? Okay. All right, that's a good take.
Right. I hope no one took that too seriously.
What about you?
I think I have a certain image in the community
No,
after I said that.
no, I don't think so. I don't think it. I think it's only.
Well, hopefully no one's listening to this.
It only-
except for
It's the
Zarir's
perpetuate
high
image.
school
Alright, so
What the-
hey guys,
Oh,
welcome
why
back.
is that?
Alright, that's staying in. We've been recording.
That's just how
Freaking
that's
phone.
just how Zarir talks.
How do you feel about beaches?
Dude, I don't
Do you-
like how
do you-
people are going back to the beach.
Do you like the way the water feels when it reaches your feet?
Dude, I'm trying to have a serious conversation.
I have a hot take.
What's the take?
Listen, man. I've.
The moon landing.
Also,
is
this
fake.
isn't on topic. Can you go back to topic?
Shut your freaking mouth.
I had a really funny story.
Okay, fine. Well, tell the story.
What do you
But
think about a pharmacy on a beach?
Wait, hold up. All right.
What?
I went
said, what do you
to
think
a beach
about making-
recently
Okay.
for the first time.
For the first time.
Your
For the
first
first
beach.
time ever in my life.
His first beach, right?
Literally, first time ever. I've never been to a beach before, except until a couple weeks ago. Okay, people don't believe that, but it's true. Anyways, I'm with like a
Very North Jersey losers.
I'm with a lot of people.
These North Jersey kids, I swear.
And we go to the beach. We're there for like 2 hours, and I'm like, okay, this was nice. Let's wrap it up. Let's do something else, right?
Yeah.
And then, so this is South Jersey, right? We're in South Jersey, and now we're like, okay, let's go somewhere else. I'm like, okay, what's the next spot? And they're like, let's see.
Huh.
And we go to another spot, and it's another freaking beach. I'm like, is that all you guys freaking do down here?
I don't understand
Wait,
what
so
people
you
do.
took
with
go to
beaches.
beaches.
You took another drive to another beach.
It was like
after
right there. It
you
was like
visit
10
one
minutes
beach.
away, and then
What?
they're like, oh,
You
let's go-
actually packed up.
Yo, who are you with?
Who are you with?
And then they're like, let's go to this other spot. And then the other spot was like a beach, but like the rock formations go out that way. Listen, man, I understand going to a beach. It's pretty, it's nice, but after hour 1, hour 2,
After I go to one
Wrap
beach,
it
I'm not going to another beach.
No, yeah, literally, I don't know what
That's
people
enough
do at
beach
beaches.
for one day.
and the thing is, everyone else just seemed to like enjoy themselves. I was just like, what in the hell? Like, okay, cool. I've literally been watching the water come here and then go back for like an hour and a half. It's cool. It's relaxing for the first
It
hour.
smells so bad. I hate
And
the
dude, you
smell.
know what else? Don't even get me started on the surfer dudes, okay? Because they
What
Does New
time
Jersey
did,
have
wait, what
surfers?
time did you go to
Yes.
the...
it was between like
Also, which beach do you go to?
2 p.m. like 6 p.m.
No.
I don't know, some freaking beach in South Jersey. A lot of beaches.
I thought you went when it was empty.
But-
That's why.
So it was kind of empty. No, not really. But anyways, there was this one place that had freaking surfer dudes, and I cannot imagine anybody living that way, which is just this whole like, dude.
Gnarly waves, yo.
No, like
Do they even talk like that in Jersey?
They talk like that. Just like not caring about anything, like nothing in life being consequential enough for them to freaking give a crap. Okay.
This goes
They're
back to my
too
point.
laid back.
This goes back to my
And,
point.
and the thing is, they're super nice too, but they have like these like really douchey vibes. And so I'm like, dude, just it's okay to have douchey vibes. Just like be douchey in your speech too, at least.
I feel
their
like Arshad,
speech?
if
Yes.
They give you a speech?
No, in
if Arshad lived in the old days,
After they saved you from drowning in the water. Arshad.
because they like all right. They own the freaking place. They act like they own the freaking place. But the thing is, and they have this like demeanor about themselves, but then they're really nice, which pisses me off.
You know, these North Jersey kids, man.
I feel like if Arshad lived during the 80s, he would hate the hippies. Or the 60s or whenever the hippies
I
existed.
would freaking hate the hippies so
Get a
much,
haircut.
dude. I would actually freaking hate the hippies.
Yeah.
That's just no way to go about life.
Shut down beaches.
Shut down beaches.
So, hey guys, welcome back to Redbuddies.
Yo. Oh, speaking of shutting down beaches, apparently a big point of controversy right now is sending your kids back to public school.
Yeah, so basically, you have an option.
Shut down schools too, bro.
No, agreed. But apparently, you have an option now. Oh, fiddlesticks! You have an option to either make your kid do fully online, or do something called hybrid, which means you like alternate periods of time in which some kids go to class in person and some kids do it online, and you swap back and forth.
What? I
So
feel
that's
like
that's what's happening in South Brunswick in my hometown. That's what my sister's doing,
really.
which I do not support. But like
I
also
would just do one or the
Why don't
other.
you support it? Why don't you support it?
because it's kind of dangerous. But like also like if I was socially deprived for
How
8
old is your
months
sister?
in high school,
Okay.
yeah.
Oh, high school.
But
Yeah.
okay. So, what was the next thing you were just about to say?
Yes, like but if I was socially deprived for 8 months, I would have gone anyway.
Exactly.
I would've gone these.
It's a multifaceted issue. I saw someone, and I understand that a lot of people have this take. I'm not leaning particularly one way or another, but I saw someone on Facebook. It was actually Azim. I think he watches this, but he said it's a matter of choosing your child's life.
Oh yeah.
Over-
It was like between like learning algebra or
Yeah, I'm about to. If you're watching this podcast, I'm about to respectfully disagree with you, but it was
It was like between learning algebra or child's life.
exactly between teaching a kid exactly. And when you oversimplify it like that, he said, "Oh, I'm going to choose my child's life." It's not that simple, I think, because here's the thing: if you imagine you are a parent,
Oh my God, we're COVID
has-
deniers.
what?
No, nothing. Continue.
Imagine you are a parent with a 4 or 5-year-old kid, and you're like, "Oh, this is a no-brainer. I'm just going to take them out of school for a year." Dude, do you know what kind of developmental
No,
problems?
it's not. They're not taken out of school, yo. They still get the same education.
No. I'm not talking. No, bro, not the education-wise. I'm talking about being around people.
Yeah, but
Being
I'd
people in
rather.
school.
Yeah, but like if they go to school and die, then they're not gonna be around people either.
Exactly. So that's why I'm saying this is a multifaceted issue. I'm saying this is a multifaceted issue.
I don't think so. I agree with you. I agree. Like I am not a good person, which is why I want the socialization no matter what. But I recognize also I'm being dumb because
No. Here, listen, because I think it takes a couple more. Like I don't know what place we are in research right now, but I was talking to my sister on the phone yesterday, and she works in a lab, and she's also in medicine, and she was telling me that. They recently there's been this case going around the nation.
Oh, is it the Kawasaki?
no, that's
disease?
different.
No.
That's
But
I think that's genetic and that's really rare.
no. There's a case study going on in the nation, something about coronavirus. So basically, we originally thought that coronavirus won't really have like a lot of effect on a kid, and what we think and what we still currently believe is that coronavirus is deadly only to people past a certain age or people within a certain
No, but there have
risk
been
group.
infants that died from it. But yeah, continue.
There have been, yeah, but apparently it's a lot less likely. But now there's this new case study, which is that some kid like kept testing for corona after his whole family got it, but then he had these like permanent weird things happening to him afterwards, and they're trying to see if those permanent things that have happened to him, those things that are a little more permanent,
Like what?
or
Like what?
like for example, he like sometimes he just like collapses when he walks. It's like weird stuff, bro. It's like kind of serious, and like
Yeah.
I don't know, I forget what else, but he like they've noticed this like 2 or 3 months after he was supposed to get COVID, but apparently at the time he was testing negative and all his family were testing positive. So now there's this potential problem, which is that perhaps the way that coronavirus manifests itself in kids is not through an immediate 2-week, like
A larger incubation period.
Wait, so does that help? Does that help me or does that help your point?
So listen, no, I'm saying no. I'm not making any like definitive point here. I'm just saying there's a lot that goes into it, and I think that now that we're finding out more things, I think it will take a couple more months of research to find out what exactly will happen to kids, and then once if we find out that kids won't die, and if we find out that kids can get sick. And then also, this should be based on household to household. So if you have old people in your house, yeah, maybe you don't want to send your kids.
Yeah.
But then if we find out, and then if you have efficient measures to quarantine if a kid gets sick, I think sending kids to school could be a potentially good thing.
That's literally that's so idealistic. Like that's never gonna happen. You really expect some hillbilly in Tennessee gonna be like, oh yeah, I have my grandparents, the mom being like, I have my parents living with us, but I'm just gonna send my daughter to school because kids don't get it.
No,
you really think
bro,
that's
not what I'm freaking saying.
Yeah.
I'm not, bro. Okay, I'm not saying that individuals like. I'm not saying that like. That's gonna happen. I'm just saying, like, we need. It is a very urgent. I think it is a very important thing that infrastructure be set in place for kids to have the option to go back to school and for it to be like, bro. Think about this, bro. You're thinking about it from a coronavirus perspective and whether or not coronavirus can affect people, which yes they can, but you're missing this other thing. When a kid is 4 or 5 years old, bro. Not being around people for a year is gonna have serious consequences on how they develop.
I agree, but like, would you rather be not around people?
No,
look,
bro,
look,
okay, so that's what I'm saying. More
let's say
to be done.
no. Let's say kids don't get affected at all, right? 100% immunity, right? Let's assume that. What's going to end up happening is that
It's not.
no.
it's not
Listen,
their
even if they have 100% immunity and they can't get it, they'll still affect other people with it, right?
I understand.
The only reason I'm saying this is, this is the mentality I've had from the beginning. Would you rather suffer for 6 short months, or not, or suffer less but
Who's
have
to
it
say
prolonged
who's
for a
to
long
say it's
time?
6 months, dude.
Because it's already gone from other countries.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, other countries are already opening up and stuff, like very slowly, yes, but they're chilling. And
Okay,
then,
so now think about. Okay, so now let me say it from the perspective of. By the way, I'm not taking any sides on this.
Yeah.
I totally understand either perspective, which is, I think a lot of people that are sending their kids back to school are not thinking about this through enough. I think a lot of people are sending their kids back to school, and it's not because of the same reason I'm saying. It's because they're like, oh, screw it, it doesn't matter. So I don't agree with that. But I'm saying, okay, think about it from the perspective of New Jersey. New Jersey. I know we're not clear of anything. I know we still have a problem of coronavirus, but we are slowly but surely opening things up. Things are starting to look good.
nope. It's literally, they literally said that 2 weeks ago. I'm so mad they said that, by the way.
Didn't
They
they,
said
like,
the good news, and now, like, people who run media have like no common sense. They really thought, oh, let's tell the entire country New Jersey is on track to break it. What do you think's gonna happen? Everyone's like, yeah, let's stay inside for just a bit longer
Wait,
because
didn't
we're
they like
reasonable.
tighten measures recently?
Yeah, they literally went the opposite way.
Yeah.
Movie theaters were supposed to open up
Yeah.
in 6 days, like a month ago, but that's not gonna happen because people don't listen. Like the from what I've learned, one of the biggest things I've learned from this situation is that the people in this country, when you give them too much democracy, too much freedom, too much opinion expressing, that they end up
You
becoming.
sound like a freaking commie.
Like
There's
what?
nothing wrong.
Is it clowny?
Well,
Commie.
that's a discussion.
Hold up.
That's a discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
finish that sentence right now.
Is it clowny?
There's nothing wrong with what?
There's nothing wrong with saying.
There's nothing wrong with.
This is what I'm
Oh,
gonna
you
say.
said
nothing wrong
This is
with-
honestly what I was gonna say.
I think
There's
it's
nothing.
clowny.
No, I said commie.
Yeah,
No,
I
I
just
said
realized
no.
you
There's.
said
I was. This is what I was about to say. I said there's nothing
You
wrong
better
with
say
giving
there's
people.
nothing wrong with communism.
There's nothing wrong with giving people the right.
We fought a war about this.
Dude, if we're gonna debate
Did
this,
we?
tune in next week for a
We
serious
fought a war
debate
for
on why communism may or may not
Team
be bad.
Khabib.
But anyway,
Oh, we talk about this right now?
anyway, my point is, you give people too much. They think that their personal.
Yeah, no, okay.
Yeah.
Their personal opinion
Yes,
is
yeah.
worth more than the lives of like the hundreds of thousands who have died.
I agree.
When you set up a system like that, and you set up a system like that, you realize that people are stupid.
We're
Like when I was,
definitely. They think they're more privileged.
no. In conclusion, the only thing I've learned from this is I don't know if it's Americans, I don't know if it's society, I don't know if it's the whole world, maybe just the East Coast or something. But people are selfish and stupid. So you cannot tell me like, oh, we'll have measures in place that if people have grandparents, they'll quarantine themselves and the kids will be fine. That's complete BS. That's never gonna happen. The only thing that will happen that
Bro.
I don't care if some 4 or 5 year old gets his growth stunted for a year. That's fine with me. I don't want to imagine what's gonna happen when you have
Dude,
people living
I
in
understand.
prolonged isolation for
Bro,
10, 15
I'm
years
talking-
because some hillbilly in Tennessee wants to send his kid to school. Like this just gets me
listen,
heated.
bro.
Yeah.
Listen. I understand what you're saying.
What's up with Tennessee?
Stop freaking out at me!
You're just the person I'm screaming at. But like this
Wait, you
is in
said
general.
adding?
What?
You said adding? You?
Stop freaking out at me. All right, so listen.
My bad.
Here's, dude. I freaking understand, but the thing is, here's
This
the
isn't
thing.
an argument then. Dude, there is no argument
No,
here.
there is no. I'm not saying, dude. I'm not saying people should or shouldn't go back to school.
I know.
I'm saying what you're underplaying here, what you're downplaying.
I'm not.
Is that I'm gonna
I'm not
take it down a
downplaying-
couple notches. I'm gonna take it down a couple notches.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say what you're downplaying is the development of a kid.
The
It's
development.
not so simple. Like it's not as simple as they'll learn it anyway.
The development of a kid for 1 year is not worth entire nations, infrastructure, money, economy,
I
progress,
agree.
everything. I would rather the kids do no
Bro, you
education.
already freaking said that. All right, stop yelling. I'm so serious. Stop yelling. You already said that. I understand. I'm just saying that's a factor that needs to be considered here, especially if this is going to go on for a long time. Especially if within a couple months, yeah, it could go down. But you know how we are compared to other countries. And I understand that, yeah, like the reason why the problem has gotten bigger is because a lot of people are doing unnecessary things. And the summer is the time when we should have taken precautions.
Hospitals right now, though, because like my brother's in the hospital right now. He's saying like there's like not even that many COVID cases, if any COVID cases in the hospital, and like the transmission rate is like so low in New Jersey right now. So I think that like it's not just as black and white as you're saying it too. It's like really not.
No, but that's because we're in New Jersey.
And
Like
think about it. Dude,
this is
all right, but Arsha's referring
What
to
is
New
that?
Jersey.
no, but the thing is, we're also the most dense state. So let's say we open up.
No, but dude,
I don't think we're the
about-
most
look,
dense.
Just listen, just listen.
Yeah.
Bro. They have their precautions, right? Like, dude, like socializing is important, like to like a massive extent, like especially with performance and growth.
little kids.
For little kids, that's really important, right? So now think
Extremely
about
important.
it, right? So just like think like what argument, like the argument you're saying right now is pretty much like none of us should be able to go to the masjid right now.
Yeah.
Because COVID is still here, we shouldn't be able to go to the masjid. And we go to the masjid every week. Like no argument. Like you cannot disagree with me, right? But it's open because we take our precautions. Schools aren't stupid. They're gonna be doing the temperature checks.
Yeah.
They're gonna be doing the day on, day off.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
Especially, and they're limiting the people in the classrooms. So if they're being this precautious, right? The socializing factor, like it has to be there for kids to be there.
No, but what I'm saying is the problem with this whole situation is you can have the precautions at every step, but the whole problem is you just need one break in the armor, one break in the link, and the whole thing is messed up.
Bro, can I tell
But
you?
if the security is so strong.
But that's just in the school.
Dude,
you have
and
to. This
dude,
expands
yo,
beyond the
listen.
school.
Yo, listen. Yes.
I know, but he's only talking about
going back to school. Am I saying that kids going back to school is not going to add any new cases of coronavirus? No, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. Probably kids going back to school will make it go up a little bit. We saw that in Georgia, but also Georgia is a place not like New Jersey. Georgia is getting hit with it hard. I'm pretty sure all these states that we're negligent about are getting hit really freaking hard right now.
Yeah.
So for Georgia to open things up is stupid. Now, I'm not saying right now maybe schools should open up within a couple months. Dude, for a kid, and you're saying a year like it's a short time. A year,
No, I understand it's a long time.
A year when you're 4 years old is a long
I
freaking
understand
time.
that, but like again, I go back to my point that it just takes one. Like you guys are saying that these are school precautions and everything. Then all right, fine, I'll concede
Yes,
that.
but-
I'll concede that the school
Dude,
will take measures and whatever
Yes,
to do the proper
coronavirus and the spreading of coronavirus have bad effects on everyone. And the spreading of coronavirus can cause harm.
Mm-hmm.
Something else that can cause harm is all these kids, and now if it's for a couple months, that's acceptable, I think. But another thing that can cause harm is a bunch of kids just not having. What do you think about this, Ahmed?
I think the point is like, yeah, there's that harm, but if we were like more strict from the start, we wouldn't have to worry
But
about
we
all
are.
these
this is
measures.
true. This is true.
But we aren't. So
Yeah.
And you know that thing that you said about with countries, like, oh, it'll only take a couple months because countries have already started opening things back up slowly but surely. Yeah, but the thing is, when they were good about it, it was when they didn't have things like school
Yeah.
to be like
What do you
a
mean?
child's school. Okay, what I mean is, like, our time to be really, really good and really, really cautious about things was during the summer.
why
It should have been.
didn't this
because
whole
now
thing
you-
start in January?
No,
at
it
least
started,
in America.
it started,
Yeah,
like,
but all right, near
March,
the end
right?
of that year. Yeah, near the
No,
end of
like
that year.
we
during
were
the summer.
warned and informed about this by January.
Oh, really?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so the moment of action should have been in
In
January.
Yes, yes, it should.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah.
I'm not disagreeing with you at all. I agree.
Yeah.
But now we're at a point where okay, so kids going back to public school is something that's like pretty important. And now, by the way, kids going back to public school is like a lot of other things have like started opening up and stuff. Like this one thing isn't gonna make it. I don't know. I'm speculating. You shouldn't listen to anything I'm saying as authority on coronavirus or any one of us. By the way, you
Yeah,
should
yeah.
know that. But like, kids going back to school is not gonna make it like astronomically spike more so than these other things like you know, like stores opening and stuff like that will. Like, and
I
the
disagree.
other
Why
the
would
other
you say
countries.
that? Why would you say that? I disagree.
I think it'll make cases go up.
No, I think school is the number one thing that will make it go up, because no matter what you need to do, like every family is connected to the school. Most families
Yes,
are connected to school in some way. In
right.
stores, you can Amazon deliver it, you can do contact list pickup or whatever that crap, right?
Right.
But if you go in person to school, there's always that kid
Yes.
goes home to a parent who goes to work or something, or who goes to store or whatever, or like goes to hang out with his other friends. But there's always that connection to school.
Yes,
If you-
yes. Okay,
yeah.
you're right.
If you think of one unifying thing in a community, it's generally a school. Like you don't think of the Walmart as the combining.
Yeah.
We'll just
that
have to wait for the results and find out.
Yeah, but
No, but we shouldn't do that. Like we should not wait. Like I could be completely wrong, and children could have 100% immunity, and coronavirus comes into their bodies and it gets killed. Fine, but we should not take that risk and open up schools to see. Oh, hey,
dude,
will it
but
work?
It's about to happen regardless.
Dude,
I mean,
okay.
yeah, but
we can. I think
We
we're
can
kind of not gonna
speculate
come.
all we want, but
Yeah.
it's gonna happen.
yeah.
Like, yes, you're taking a risk when you're exposing them to corona, but it's also like, I feel like people are acting like the whole like, oh, let's just take our kids out from the school 1 year. What's the big deal? I think it's a big deal than most people think.
It is a big deal. I don't think it's not a big deal.
I think people are downplaying it. Is all I'm saying.
No, it is.
That's why I think it's multifaceted.
I think the problem for me at least is that it is a big deal, but I think in comparison to what could happen to like we experience years of this nonsense of being stuck in quarantine is so much like infinitely bigger.
I don't know if it's infinitely bigger.
I'm not worried about a year of not.
Bro, we're talking about
Imagine if we have to stay in this state for like 2 or 3 years.
Bro, do you know? You ever met a homeschooled person? They don't even have to tell you they're homeschooled. You freaking know it. You freaking know it.
So this
Imagine a freaking country.
okay, this is the question. Would you rather live?
That was a joke.
I don't know,
Like,
but
it's like low key kind of.
No, would you rather live or live wrongly or die? trying to live
Bro,
right?
okay, but like Humam just said, it's not black and white. You're not sending your kid to school and immediately sentencing yourself to death and your kid to death.
Bro,
I
It's
know,
a
but
little
what
bit more
you
complicated
are
than that.
sentencing is that we have to stay in this quarantine state for
50
longer.
Cent, get rich or die trying.
And we should, dude, we should take, okay, and here's the thing, we should take a lot of precautions to make quarantine go down, but some things are necessary. And
Do you
don't-
really think school is necessary? In-person school is necessary? I take that back. School is necessary, education is good.
Development
I think it's
is
one of those
necessary, and precautions are also necessary.
Yes, precautions are
Alright,
absolutely
if you can pray
necessary.
at home, then is it necessary to just open masjids and just pray at masjid?
I feel like for small...
Answer the question.
For, co-
Answer the question.
for communities like us, like small communities, I would just say like, fine, we're taking the precautions. That's cool. But for something like a public school where everyone
Dude,
goes to, regardless
dude,
of...
Okay,
they're
but here's the
controlling how
thing.
many people are
Yeah,
gonna
and
be.
dude,
I
here's the
understand
thing. Here's
that,
the thing.
but,
You
like-
can't just shut. Okay, you literally can't at this point in time. If you're gonna shut everything down, it has to be really quickly. Like that's where we failed. Is we didn't shut things down quickly enough.
Yeah.
But once you get too deep into it, now, like for example, like people are talking about this and other things. Yes, you take all the precautions you possibly can, but some things kind of need to be in person.
So you're saying that the... Okay, I'm going to word this right, but you're saying that people unnecessarily need to get the virus because...
No.
Does anyone know what actual restriction, other than like the temperature checks? Like,
It's-
what's the
they can put
capacity?
up the
they're keeping
dividers
it?
probably and just...
50%, so like it'll be 14 kids in a room instead of 30.
14 kids.
Right, we're talking about New
Yeah.
Jersey right here or like...
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like that's how it's gonna go.
Mm.
I mean, we
Then
also
they'll
did
stagger
it...
time bells because my mom works in the school district. They'll stagger time bells, so not a lot of kids will be in the hallways at a time.
Is it working the
And
same for like
then-
every
Also-
school?
like, so then it'll go back like so one group of kids will be there like Monday, then another group of kids will be there Tuesday, and then it'll go back and forth like that. It'll rotate.
Oh, is it like block days?
Yeah, but
Yeah,
also...
we should send them a freaking
This is
school
this is
island.
New Jersey, right? In Georgia, do they have that for the
Abu
high school?
Dhabi. What?
No,
The Georgia...
dude, everything else
Dude,
we're
fight-
just talking about, right?
you
The
go
other
see
schools,
taking the
they
right
just went back, like,
precautions.
as a minimum.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But
Oh my
we're
God,
not
America.
doing that. We're talking
Wait, what?
specifically in New Jersey.
Yeah.
Like other schools, they just went back like normal.
Yeah.
And if you're talking about other countries, like the only country that's whom like eradicated COVID is like New Zealand. Every other country right now is going through like major COVID too.
You guys both have your points, but I think what Zarir's just trying to say is like there's that chance there's gonna be that one kid, and then that's what's gonna multiply it.
Yeah, you just need that one kid.
I hear it, but
there's always gonna be a risk factor with these things.
Just like Corona, yes, we agree. There's multiple bad things that can happen as a result of different bad things, and that's it. That's literally. I know I'm saying it in really simple, stupid terms. But there's not only one thing that's causing bad things. There's multiple things that are causing.
No, but like the thing at least I believe in is that there's a simple solution to get this all over with. It's just that people, including myself, are not strong enough, are not willing enough.
Yes.
Yeah. What are you doing?
Yeah, I agree.
Are not willing enough to go through with it. But yeah.
Yeah. You want to talk about? We should wrap this up pretty soon. But you want to talk about UFC?
Sure.
Why do we always end on UFC? No, the UFC does not fit in this podcast. We have a nice team going here.
Yo,
you shut up, you freaking audio guy.
You know what the UFC? If you're fighting would you fight in the UFC right now? If they're holding fights, would you go and fight a fight right now?
No.
If they're like, yo, Zarir, like, come fight for $1 million.
No, I get the crap beaten out of me.
No, like, say like,
yo,
do you think you'd catch Corona if you went there? Right
if it's a 1-on-1, no.
No, like, there's like 100 other people at the event. Do you think you're gonna catch Corona?
Oh yeah.
You're not, because no one has
Zarir, what is something that you like? Hold on. Do you watch any sports right now? You watch basketball right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Should basketball be happening right now, or shouldn't it?
I think basketball's chilling because of the bubble. But like, you're telling
okay.
Are you trying to compare the school situation to the bubble? Yeah. It's not even close. Those people can't even step outside to get their DoorDash. If they do that, they're stuck in quarantine.
The NBA is different from the UFC because people are coming all over from the world and they're having their protective measures.
Wait, for NBA or UFC?
UFC. They've been doing it, in my opinion, like even like better than NBA because they have worldwide people coming.
Wait, how is the UFC working? I don't know anything about it.
UFC is making money moves with this Fight Island because
it's crazy how they pulled all this stuff off.
And you know what's crazy?
Fight Island is actually a thing.
Dude, it's been a thing. There have been like 100 fights that happened like during Corona.
Yo, and you know this is so UFC. Like there's been a couple like. In terms of the sport that is UFC, this is a big time for it. Yeah. Because everything else is freaking.
This was the first sport that like started.
This was the first sport that started back up. When UFC was going on, people were actually like, I'm talking about some lay people were watching like fight nights and crap.
Yeah.
Because they're like, oh, what the hell else is there, right? So like, and fight nights is something that usually like I'll watch fight nights even like a lot of times, but sometimes I'm just like, oh, I don't fans, huge fans, like we'll watch them here and there. Yeah, exactly. Like we're pretty big fans, but we still don't watch them. But like this time around, UFC like got so much benefit because like every other sport just was offline, and UFC stayed on, and I think UFC now is going to be an even bigger part of our culture.
Yeah, but I just like to point out one thing: the Fight Island thing and the NBA bubble. You're not comparing those to the school precautions they're taking, right? Like they're two completely different levels of.
Okay, look, I don't know exactly what precautions the NBA is taking, but I'm just saying there is an argument to be made for NBA staying in person and all that, and
So this
continuing. There's an argument for that to be made, even though potentially. There are more coronavirus.
There's zero risk of getting NBA and Corona. Do you know why? Because they get tested every day. And for the past 14 days, 310 players tested, 0 cases. Do you know how they did that? Before they went to the bubble, 2 weeks mandatory, they had to stay in quarantine. Do you know what happened if you stepped out to get your DoorDash? Restart. Do you know what happened? Russell Westbrook, freaking Rudy Gobert, famous players got coronavirus. They were tested for it, but they stayed positive.
Do you think they're gonna do something at schools like every 2 weeks get tested or something like that?
The precaution they took is nowhere comparable to schools. It's not even 1/10%.
Okay. I used NBA. I didn't know the precautions.
Yeah, so I just want to make it clear that there's zero similarities between whatever schools are doing in a bubble. But yeah, continue.
So.
Yeah.
Okay, what are we talking about? I don't want to get back into that.
Yeah.
Stop yelling my freaking ear.
I'm heated, man. I'm heated. I hate quarantine.
Holy moly.
I hate quarantine. But yeah.
Daniel Cormier's Stipe coming up.
Stipe coming up. What's your take on DC Stipe?
Dude, I don't watch
Yeah.
You should watch DC.
No. Ready? What's your take on DC Stipe? Just pretend like you.
DC sounds like a competitive fighter, and I think he's gonna pull it out this time.
I think so
I
too.
agree with you.
I agree.
Really?
Yeah.
I agree with you.
As long as he does his eye
Oh my
pokes, he'll
God,
be
shut
good.
the hell up. He doesn't freaking have to.
Dude,
That's
we-
why I know because you keep mentioning.
So
his
we already-
iPhone.
we
We've
actually-
seen the evidence.
We actually already talked about DC Stipe last time, like
Yeah.
on the first episode. But yeah, we were talking about.
Is this fight still coming up? That was 3 weeks ago.
It's coming this Saturday.
we were
Oh,
talking
how long
about
have you guys been
fight on-
talking about this?
Yo,
Ever since it was mentioned.
Justin
Styles
Gaethje, Khabib. When's that happening?
That's happening in October.
Yeah. Who's fighting? Yo, who's fighting on this next card? Sean O'Malley,
Sean O'Malley and like something Vera. Cheeto Vera.
Derek Lewis.
Derek Lewis fought yesterday. I think you're talking about like Jordan Ryzen.
Dude, who watches our podcast and watches UFC? I never understand that.
I do.
Bro, it doesn't matter. It's what we want to
Zarir
talk about.
Salim.
Dude, right? We're like at the end.
I'm gonna. Yeah. Also, this freaking it's just what we want to talk about.
No,
Like,
that's what I'm saying.
this
Does this happen every day?
No.
No, so
podcast- Oh,
It
Derek
was like-
Lewis beat him. Bro, I didn't even catch this.
Yeah, it was
See,
just-
nobody freaking watches
It
fight
was
night.
just- yeah, I didn't watch it either.
that's what I'm saying.
I just
Like,
looked
how
up the
often does
result.
this thing happen? Because you guys talk about it every time.
No,
I'm like,
here's the thing. We watch like the big paper. Like
Exactly,
people who are in
okay.
the top 10
No.
will like watch him.
Yo, hold up. So UFC.
no, but that's what I'm saying. Because basketball happens almost every day. So I'm like, how often does this UFC thing happen? 'Cause
You,
I-
but the thing with UFC is like you can't be fighting like you can't be fighting fighters like every day.
That's
They don't
exactly
have
yeah. I know.
All right,
It's like a
UFC
completely different game.
252.
When is this?
Main event. We have
Stipe.
August 15th.
Sorry.
That's
yeah.
nice.
DC.
We have Stipe DC's main event. We have Sean O'Malley fighting.
Yo, wait,
versus
what do you
this guy,
think about
Marlon Vera.
I've heard of Dos Santos.
other than that card? What do you think about Cody moving down to 125? Cody Garbrandt,
I don't know, but why does that freaking division even
Who is
exist
this?
anymore?
the 120. Dude, I don't think it should exist. You know Demetrius Johnson.
Yeah.
You know him?
Yeah.
He was the guy that lost to Henry Cejudo.
Yeah.
And that's when it all started. But I don't think they have like any talent like that are making marketable.
Well,
in the
when Henry
125.
Cejudo beat TJ Dillashaw, that was supposed to be.
That was
was
what
supposed to be,
was
like-
supposed to put him on the map, but he never stuck in that division. He just
Yeah.
went back to 135.
Also, dude, like, I mean, at the end of the day, like, these are like men who have like some muscle packed on them. I can only imagine how hard it is to stay at 125. Like, unless you're like,
125 is like because they're all
How
like
tall is the guy?
they're probably like 5'5" or
no,
6",
bro,
if they're
5'6".
5'5",
If you're 5'6" and you look like them, you're at least you
Dude.
know like 150. Wait, hold up.
They
Also, how do
definitely-
you get the numbers for these UFC things?
What do you mean?
Like 250, 251, apparently 176.
That's what they're just labeled.
They started
as.
at 1.
Like UFC.
No, they have a UFC one.
Yeah,
Oh,
that was the very first UFC.
Henry
event.
Cejudo height. He's 5'4".
there's
Okay,
only
Henry,
been 250.
dude, Henry Cejudo is 5'4".
5'4",
And he
120
is he's at 135 right now, and I think that's his like comfortable weight. I don't think it's
135 is his weight. Yeah.
comfortable. I don't think it's comfortable.
He
for him to
he
go
was
down
trying to
135.
fight Alex Volkanovski.
Yeah.
Henry Cejudo.
Oh, that's this guy right here.
Do you think he would win that if he tried to fight him?
I think that's an
I
interesting
feel like
fight.
you could
I think
actually
it's-
like pull it off.
I think that's a really interesting fight. But I think okay, so 125 is like an uncomfortable weight for a man above the height of like 5'3", 5'4" to be at.
Yeah.
And especially if you're fighting.
Whatever you're walking around at, you're gonna base your cut off that. Like if I'm walking out around at like 135 right now. I'll probably cut to 115 if there was a division for that.
115?
Dude, because if you're fighting like these, and I'm nowhere near the level. These guys are freaking huge.
Yeah.
Like they balloon up like
Yeah.
in weight.
And for a
Wait,
guy
wait, I'm
like that
confused.
to
Are you
do
trying to
that,
cut down or?
Cut down.
So how do they?
No one fights at like actually 135. They all go back to their normal weight after they fight.
Yeah. So when
Like if I weigh 190, I'll probably fight at 170.
that's another big thing, which is so here's like dude, this
It's
is
all
like,
about the advantage in like strength and everything.
so here's one of my freaking Yoel Romero, I feel like is who I'm thinking about right now. Went up
Paulo
like
Costa,
what was it, Paulo Costa?
when they like went up in huge
Bro.
amounts of weight.
What did they weigh in at?
Dude,
190?
yeah,
190.
Yeah,
And they
no,
went
no,
up-
they weighed in at 185.
They weighed in at 185, and one of them went up to 200.
Paulo Costa. He weighed in at heavyweight.
He weighed in at like 220 basically.
That's
Wait,
heavy.
what?
Bro,
185?
260.
Yeah.
Yo,
185 to 260.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
what's the time? How long is the
A
time?
day.
Yeah,
You're lying.
it's
Yo.
a day, dude.
Yo,
Shut the hell up.
literally-
It's
What
good-
they do
it's-
is
yo.
they take salt
Yeah.
vats and they get
Yeah.
rid of
Yeah.
all the
All,
water.
all
And they
that,
get-
all that
yeah.
waterway, all that food they've been cutting out. Like once they replenish, like
30
Bro,
pounds
my-
in
my
Holocaust
friend-
is also like a freaking like.
Bro, my
gigantic.
friend wrestled in high school. He said you would literally have to do this.
Oh yeah, spit in the
Spit.
spit. I would see
Fill
them
a
like
bottle.
they would fill it up with spit. Yeah,
You'd fill a bottle with spit. Your mouth will get so
Dude,
insanely
th-
dry.
before the weigh-in.
yeah.
and my friend said sometimes he would just knock out. Paul, I don't know if you're watching this. I hope you are.
Paulo.
I miss you.
Bro, you freaking
But,
destroy us if we say anything wrong.
But yeah, I mean,
30 pounds
it
in one
gets-
day.
Dude,
I
it
cannot.
actually happened. This is why like the what do you call them, Nevada like state commissions and stuff. Like they have a limit of how much you can like go back up to in weight. Like I think it was the commission they fought in that day, Florida. They like put a restriction on Paulo Costa after that because he went
Yeah,
way too high.
bro, that's just insane.
How do you
I
even
mean,
do that? So you're telling me he was
Dude,
215 before the weigh-in?
I don't even know how he makes 185 because he definitely walks around like 200 something. But
Wait, so no,
Yeah.
Bro, they were both bigger than the actual heavy.
dude,
like,
those guys are genetic
Yeah.
freaks.
no. But my
Yo,
question is, do they like get up to that weight and then cut down for the weigh-in and go
No, no,
back?
No,
that's their normal weight.
Yeah, that's their normal. Dude, when one of them was okay, so the division above them, there were people
Light
that were
heavyweight?
fighting. Yeah, and there were people that were fighting, and the one of these two guys was heavier by like 10 pounds than the person who was fighting in the division above him.
Yeah. Dude, this is why they cut weight. It all comes from wrestling. You want that weight advantage.
Wait, so
That's
why do they
crazy.
do the weigh-in before? Why don't they just do the weigh-in and fights immediately?
This is why one championship. It's another promotion for like fighting. They've like made their thing around weight cutting stricter. They check your water levels
Yeah.
the day before.
I think to some well, okay, so I think actually that one of the reasons that they don't is because they understand like that when people cut, like they cut in these methods and they don't like it's weird because if you are like the commissioner of UFC or whatever, you don't want for people to go through those measures to cut and then fight right after because if you
Yeah.
fight at that weight,
Yeah, dude. If
now
if
you're
you
risking
cut the day,
dying.
if you make weight the day of, there's no way you're gonna be able to fight that.
you're
You're gonna get knocked out.
if you
in, like,
or
one
if you
punch.
fight you will actually risk
Yeah.
I feel like this was either in boxing or UFC someone died in a fight and it was because of their extreme cutting method.
Dude, you're dehydrated. Like, there's no way you could replenish that fast for a fight the same day.
Why don't
Yeah.
they
You can't recover.
Why don't they do
There's
something
not
like
enough
average?
I think like Khabib went to the hospital.
Khabib
He was trying
almost
to cut
Khabib's
down.
body shut down while he was like cutting weight.
It
Why
gets
is like
way too much.
weighing down a thing? Like you should just
Is
do
it
your
no?
standard weight.
This
No,
comes in
but
from
it-
wrestling.
It has to because like
Yeah.
well it can't just be your standard weight because then nobody would fight anybody because
No, but
everybody
we fight
be a
people
different-
within like your +5 of your weight or whatever.
Like slowly,
Yeah,
it's
but
becoming a thing.
if you want to fight a person that's not already in your weight class, one of you has to move up or one of you has to move
But
down.
why would he want to move? Oh, so like, is it like tiers? Is it like featherweight is the worst? And
No,
the
no,
heavyweight is the
there's no
best?
tiers. This is just the
No.
This is the lowest weight you can cut to, so you don't lose the risk of like having someone like way heavier than because they have more power than you. If
That's what I'm saying.
someone's
But like, why doesn't everyone just fight at their standard weight? Like, why do you want to move
No,
guys?
because this is a tradition from wrestling. It's all about the strength
Yeah,
advantage.
and-
If you're gonna fight at 155 and you're wrestling someone who's 170, you're not gonna have the advantage.
No, I'm not saying fight someone
You're,
170.
you're saying fight in their division.
Yeah,
Okay, because sometimes you want to fight outside of your division.
but why?
Because that's how
That's
fighting
how you
works.
get.
Further
That's also how you get
forward, they wanna
recognized.
get more
Yeah.
titles, right? Like as an individual, you want to win as many wars.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Damn.
What's it called? You're at 155. Someone at 145 is making a lot of noise, real rowdy. You know, they're getting a lot of traction. They have a belt. You want
Yeah.
that belt. You go to 145 and you take it, or you call them, or you challenge them at 155, and you fight.
Usually they challenge you. At
Usually they
155.
challenge. Yeah, exactly.
So they usually want to move up in
Yeah,
weight.
but TJ Dillashaw was one example. He tried to move down to 125, and he got like
He
got knocked out. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
I was
knocked out.
expect-
And how much time?
32 seconds.
32
I was
seconds.
expecting to win that. That was on my birthday too, man.
Yeah.
My second favorite fighter.
So.
Dude, Dominic Cruz is my favorite, bro. He also lost to Henry Cejudo.
I need to do
Yeah,
my
so
research.
so what else we got? Did we want to talk about anything else?
I think we had a good run today.
Was there anything else? We had UFC,
Pharmacy.
pharmacy, Ellen DeGeneres. Do we want to talk about that?
Did
No.
we even talk about
It's
that?
fine. Ignore it.
Ellen
Also,
DeGeneres is in the news.
Dude, but she's just a loser. Who cares?
Why is she? Yeah, okay, so
She just
we
mistreats
we
her
tried-
coworkers.
we tried film. We tried. We were like shooting this before, and we were doing a take.
Not
We're like,
a
okay,
take, like
let's-
4 takes.
And we're like, oh no, okay. Usually this is like a one take thing, but sometimes we'll start and we're like, okay, this isn't. Let's start over.
Or should
Anyways, we're
multiply
like-
our takes.
What?
Or should multiply our
Yeah.
takes
So
after
that-
he's zoned
so
out.
we're like, oh, let's talk about Ellen DeGeneres.
Alan.
And then the Ellen DeGeneres, and then the conversation was like, Ellen DeGeneres is in the news. I heard a couple months ago.
But
she
This
was
is
being
false.
mean to
This is
people.
false.
we had
And
some
then we
good
just moved
takes
on. I was
after
like,
that, though.
No, me and Ahmed having a
Yeah.
really good conversation, but Arshad wasn't feeling it, and this man
Yo,
was just like,
yo, listen, Zarir.
what?
Yo, Zarir. Yo, let me tell you something, Zarir. All right, bro. Yeah, Zarir. Zarir went from like audio guy. He's trying to be the freaking CEO of. Yo, Zarir is like rapidly making moves.
Yo,
Dude,
I'm
we
gonna be honest, Zarir overshadows me.
Yeah.
He's talking more than me, bro.
Dude, yeah. Dude, we started the freaking.
Yo, Zarir, I'm gonna kill you, bro.
Yeah, chill with that.
Dude,
So,
okay, the people want me here.
Yo,
so
shut up, Zarir, before I
dude,
cut your salary.
Zarir, literally, like, we started one of these takes. He's like, hey guys, welcome.
Oh, yeah, he
started-
he did the intro.
Dude, that was the greatest thing.
I was like, what in the hell?
that was the perfect take. I start the intro, and then Arshad was just like, what
Yo,
the?
I'm gonna be honest,
Relegate
Zarir's
you
taking
to
some
the
power
freaking
away
corner.
from me, bro.
Dude, fight me.
Yeah,
Come at
bro.
me. Come at me, 175.
Yo, let's fight, bro. How much do you weigh right now?
175.
Wait, actually?
Yeah.
I'll beat you either way. It's Zarir. I don't have to worry about your weight.
What? Yeah, you guys should throw it down.
Fight for the podcast.
No, you guys should.
Bro, I'm gonna Dominic Cruz this kid. I'm gonna throw some leg kicks and he won't know how to.
You
check
guys should
them.
wrestle right after this.
I don't know how to
There's
wrestle.
a 40 because
actually,
that'd be an interesting one.
Dude,
because there's a
after
40
yesterday,
pound
my
difference.
legs like freaking destroyed.
All right, so kick his leg. That's
My
not
knee
bad.
was like locking. You don't even know how to throw legs kicks, bro. I'm gonna check all your kicks.
Dude, I watch anime, man. It's fine.
Dude, I'm not gonna lie. I'd actually like to fight someone one day.
All right,
I
so
literally tell you to do that.
for
all
Ahmed's
the time.
irritate, we'll send him into a ring
Jiu-jitsu
with
is
the
not
dude.
the same thing as fighting.
Alright, then fight me. Fight me after this podcast.
Nah, we're at disadvantage.
All right, so yeah, thank you guys for listening.
Hey man, shut up, audio guy.
Yo, why'd you give
Shut
me
up,
that?
Jamie.
Why'd you give me that like dirty look after this?
What?
I bet you just like give me a dirty look.
He doesn't like you, man.
Yeah, he doesn't.
My pants are ripped.
If you
Taco Bell, please sponsor us.
Taco Bell,
So I
please
can get some
sponsor
free
us.
meals.
Crown Fish and Chicken, my brother.
My brother, if
sponsor
you're
us.
watching this, you know who you are.
Yes.
All right, so I feel like we should wrap up.
Yeah.
I feel like you should shut your damn mouth, audio guy.
Israel, I'm gonna kill you, bro.
Okay.
I shouldn't be making threats like that.
So
This is going online. I just like to say Ahmed's future employer
Disclaimer.
I've been threatened
disclaimer,
several times.
I don't actually want to kill Zuri.
lies. This is lies.
yo, if any of our freaking future employees are watching this.
I
Dude,
would.
not our
Imagine
future
they
employers.
actually like end up watching this, like pull up some clips from our last one about the terrorist house.
Oh, we do. Okay, for the record, I said
Dude,
that was
we're not do. Alright,
Let's
you
just
freaking
throw
over
Let's just throw a
You're
disclaimer.
freaking. You remember last episode how I was talking about
Disclaimer.
Central Jersey soft boys?
Disclaimer,
You're
we're
one of
being
them.
serious.
How am I soft?
You're freaking one of them. Okay.
Oh, we're not going back to this conversation.
Ain't nobody.
All right,
Not this
I'm not.
argument.
I'm not going back to call. We're freaking wrapping
Taco
up.
Bell, please sponsor us.
Taco Bell, please
Say-
sponsor us. Next week we're trying to have a guest.
Umair Masood, please come through. Yo, when we were talking
Wait,
about,
we don't have
when
enough
we were-
mics. If there's three of us
dude,
here.
when we were talking about,
You can get back. You're a freaking audio guy, man.
yo, quit stealing my airtime, bro.
Oh man, I like.
Yeah, that's
it.
I'm a spot
I
right
can't
there.
even talk because you. No,
Wait, there's not even any league games to
Shut up,
watch next
Zarir.
week. No.
what?
Well,
Yo,
we'll give
I
him.
swear-
We'll give the guest the blue snowball, and I'll take this mic.
no.
Umair will probably bring his own supplies.
Yeah.
He'll probably like take over my mic.
Dude, this is like This is like you
Yo,
know when you
what?
hear about like you know when you hear about that one Israeli dude that like became like the almost the prime minister of like Syria.
No,
You guys know this?
I never heard.
Well, he
about that.
slowly like creeped his way into the system.
He went through the ranks.
He went through the ranks, and nobody even saw it. But then he was literally about to become the prime minister of Syria, and he was a spy.
Dude, that's something like out of a movie.
Facts.
And that's what the hell you're doing right now to this podcast.
All right, guys. Next week I'll be back with the third microphone.
You're just behind the couch.
You mean a fourth?
Oh, freak!
Yeah,
You're
literally when we were talking about
Fourth
this,
mic-
I was straight up thinking Umair Masood.
Yeah. So, well, we haven't actually contacted him yet, so maybe we'll bleep his name
We'll
out.
probably just kidnap him.
Yeah. Also, we're trying to have some. We're not gonna say any more names.
Yeah.
But we're trying to have some people on the podcast. And it's in the works.
It's
If
okay
you guys
to
want-
name drop Umair though. He's like LinkedIn's top 100.
Yeah,
It's okay.
yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you've already.
Did he follow my LinkedIn request?
Probably not. You're probably not important though.
So, we are. Make sure you comment,
Like, subscribe.
like, subscribe. If you want to see a certain type of guest, if there's a certain type of.
Hey, all I'm saying is
conversation
if
you
you're
want us to have,
lurking,
whatever,
if you're just lurking on our page,
Yeah, don't
I'm
lurk.
just saying I see you.
don't lurk. Make sure you. Make sure you interact with the page.
Yeah.
Interact with the Instagram. Interact with the. I mean, if you're here, you're already past the threshold of Instagram. If you're watching this right now.
Facts. No one's watching it. This is
Yo, shout out to Hasib. I just like to say that
Shout out to Hasib. I'm gonna get him his,
for watching our podcast.
I'm gonna get him his girl from Indie Matchmaking. Yeah, we didn't talk about that this time.
We were talking about it.
But somebody didn't like the 4 takes.
We talked
Dude,
about it 3 takes.
Listen, all right. I don't like saying that we did a lot of takes. These takes were like a minute long.
I believe
Okay. I don't
I
like.
can
By the way,
fly.
for we don't do takes. Okay, like we do. Like
I
we'll like turn on the camera and then we'll be
believe I
like,
can
oh, we get into a
touch
freaking.
the
Okay, fine. We tried to do the intro for 4 times. Just intro. Like it wasn't an actual conversation, but we were like feeling the flow and stuff. And me,
Yeah,
and
we don't do
yeah.
takes and all that. We
yeah,
don't do
yeah.
that.
Me
We
and
just-
Ahmed are vibing so
Yeah.
hard, and then Arshad Sirb just took a nap on the couch.
Anyways, if you like,
It's okay when Arshad zones out.
Yeah,
Now
but when
we-
I zone out and watch my league streams, it's not okay.
Nah, you can zone out. I'm just saying, it's like you can't be watching your league streams in the middle of the freaking podcast. When I zoned out, I was just like,
Yeah, just take him.
I didn't zone out. I was just like,
You're just like this, and then you're like, wait, we need
Yeah.
to restart.
That's literally what he did.
anyways, so
I
follow,
believe I
subscribe,
can
do all that.
fly.
Oh, let's do the lines. Let's do the lines. The lines.
The lines?
Yeah.
Bro, we don't have any lines.
Subscribe.
We said that like 100 times. Yo,
You said-
if you're lurking, bro, I'm gonna catch you. You better subscribe.
This is too long, bro. We need to cut this.
All right. Thank you
Follow.
guys for listening. We'll see you next week.
Peace out.
That was the word. Such a sad. Good morning.